I ain't tryna bring you down, but for real, you might as well give up now. Think you got a chance, but I don't see how. Got a real tight grip when I hold that crown. My life been good and bad and all around. The more things I lost, the more I found. One thing I taught myself to do, no matter the problem, refuse to lose. So, how you want it, man? You can choose. If you can't take the heat, don't light the fuse. See, I walk in slow and ignite the room. Like fire, everything I touch, I consume. I'm getting up while y'all just snooze. While you make breakfast, man, I'm on the move. I'm the first one in and the last one out. Whoever owns the place gotta drag me out. In me I trust, yeah, I smell like success, this Elon Musk, huh? Everybody wanna be like us, we don't stop, cause the top just ain't enough, huh? I ain't never gay, no, I ain't scared, man, you know black men don't blush, huh? Came here ready to fight on this night, you better just run for your life. Won't you come and see what it's like, living by the rules that you write. You ain't know those lavish delights, now you had no back in sight. All the little lies you recite, just makes all the savage unite. Usually I'm very polite, but I'ma get savage tonight. Even when a dog being nice, every single dog gonna bite. You might think I'm wrong, but I'm right. Just let it get a strong appetite. I'ma let it breathe just a little, give it to you strong, heavy metal. I don't make a sound when I strike, you better just run for your life. Yeah. I ain't tryna bring you down, but for real, you might as well give up now. Think you got a chance, but I don't see how. Got a real tight grip when I hold that crown. My life been good and bad and all around. The more things I lost, the more I found. One thing I taught myself to do, no matter the problem, refuse to lose. So, how you want it, man? You can choose. If you can't take the heat, don't light the fuse. See, I walk in slow and ignite the room. Like fire, everything I touch, I consume. I'm getting up while y'all just snooze. While you make breakfast, man, I'm on the move. I'm the first one in and the last one out. Whoever owns the place gotta drag me out. In me I trust, yeah, I smell like success, this Elon Musk, huh? Everybody wanna be like us, we don't stop, cause the top just ain't enough, huh? I ain't never gay, no, I ain't scared, man, you know black men don't blush, huh? Came here ready to fight on this night, you better just run for your life. Won't you come and see what it's like, living by the rules that you write. You ain't know those lavish delights, now you had no back in sight. All the little lies you recite, just makes all the savage unite. Usually I'm very polite, but I'ma get savage tonight. Even when a dog being nice, every single dog gonna bite. You might think I'm wrong, but I'm right. Just let it get a strong appetite. I'ma let it breathe just a little, give it to you strong, heavy metal. I don't make a sound when I strike, you better just run for your life. your life. Run for your life. Run for your life. Run for your life.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ward Radio live stream. I am your host, Carden Ellis, and today I'm joined in the studio by none other than Ed Thomas, fearsome bodyguard, not at large, but here personally for us, and also the assistant. What do we call you again? The associate professor of all things apocryphal. Yeah. Jonah Barnes. And we've got a really, really interesting topic that we're going to be diving into today. If I'm not mistaken, you have found two things. First off, examples of the LDS endowment found in the Dead Sea Scrolls and the way we should be doing it in the temple currently. And your claim is that the current LDS endowment is a little bit broken, you say, and that we got to kind of fix it with some of these clues that you've garnered. That's, them be some, not fighting words, but that's a bold claim, but from a faithful perspective. So we're going to talk all things awesome endowment because it's one of the greatest, coolest, and most interesting aspects of our faith. And Jonah Barnes here is going to back it up with some serious manuscript science. And Ed is packing a .45 caliber to protect us from the anti-Mormons and those that would do us harm for, just who we are and existing. So anyway, Jonah Barnes, tell us what's going on. And do I need to bring things up in the Discord?
Yeah, we'll get to those. So all right, people, let's do a little disclaimer here. Okay.
By the way, you are really blown out by that light. As you're talking, I'm going to lower that light because, yeah, you look really, really like angelic.
Dude,
I would
say
angelic.
My countenance is shining because we're talking about the temple today. That's what this is.
Yes,
you see
exactly,
this?
exactly.
Yeah, because we're talking about the temple endowment. All right, so look, you can find things online about the LDS endowment. The endowment of the Church of Jesus Christ.
Like when Nemo the Mormon thinks he's like super fun and edgy by like recording the endowment ceremony. And
how edgy.
And then he wonders why online they won't give him his temple recommend back because, I don't know, you might go in there with a camera, and do the new name Noah thing. Yeah, next will be threatening to beat up Dallin H. Oaks. Okay.
Just so that everybody's aware, if you're not familiar, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or the LDS Church, has a temple ceremony called the Endowment, and it is a sacred ceremony. And we do not apologize for things being sacred. So the first thing you have to do is get it in your head that it's okay to be secret. That's the first thing we got to do. We have it in our head that anything secret is evil. And that is just that we just have that in our head, and we have to get that out of our head. And we're going to talk about how Jesus Christ didn't think that was evil because he was doing secret things all the time. We're going to talk about some of those things. And just a disclaimer for everybody out there, all three of us are temple endowed members of the Church of Jesus Christ. We have taken oaths. We will never reveal certain sacred things, and we won't.
Yeah, I would never talk about the goat we sacrificed. That's
true.
That was
goat,
crazy.
That was not something we.
Dang
it, Carden! You right out of the gate.
I know.
You just.
Yeah, exactly.
But we are going to talk about things that are okay to talk about. The misconception is that you can't talk about anything. You can't talk about anything. That's not true. That is not true. There are some things that can be discussed, and we're going to discuss those things. We're going to talk a lot about how this ceremony has been practiced for thousands of years. And it has turned up recently in the discoveries in Qumran, discoveries in the Nag Hammadi Library, excavations in Egypt. We're going to talk about where these things have popped up and how Joseph Smith, again, is just the best guesser in the world.
Absolutely.
He's just so good at guessing, How does he do it?
Yeah.
Never went to Vegas.
I like the lighting on that side of you, Ed. It's a little bit more flattering. It's just, you really look as intimidating as you did on the mugshot. I will say, when you applied for the security position of our church, I'm going to have to pull up the mugshot that you gave us where you had mutton chop mustaches, which you have yet to show on this channel. And it was super intimidating, bro. It's literally what put you on top of the Mossad guy that wanted the job.
Dude, you wouldn't even...
Yeah, that was
You know?
that was after a cool op that I had just done.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
even need a gun. You just brandish that
you
thing. No
look
one's messing
like-
with us after that.
You look like the most violent criminal that barely got out because of a shady lawyer. You know what I'm saying? It was really awesome. And now you just look like everybody's dad.
Yeah,
you know?
I am everybody's dad. Hey,
Yeah.
so do you want the light lower Kelvin or what?
No, it's fine. It's good. I
oh.
already fixed it on my
Okay.
side. I fixed it on my side. So anyway, dive right in. Oh, before we go, guys, everybody, if you could please make sure that you like this stream on your way in, okay? We got 57 likes right now, but there's hundreds of you guys watching. So please just go out of your way if you don't mind. Click that like button. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please let this be the day that we earn your subscription. And on top of that, if you are subscribed, you got to press the alert button. You actually have to press on subscribe twice. This little button comes up that has a bell on it, and that bell will alert you to things such as this live stream when it comes out. And as always, if it's appropriate and you guys want to contribute to the conversation here, send us a super chat in the comments. And if you send us a super chat, then you not only will we read it online, but we'll not online, but on the show we'll hopefully respond. And also, I'm going to do something cool for y'all. I didn't think about this until right now, but hold on.
Uh-oh.
I-
This is live, people.
I bet you this is cool.
I
Whenever
cleaned out the studio.
when Carden says cool, he
No, it
shows
is
stuff
pretty
to
cool.
Jonah and I.
It is pretty cool.
And
So
it is
here's what
pretty
I'll do.
cool.
Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'm going to do today. Okay, so I'm into archaeology and antiquities, and I got these a long time ago for our channel, but I had forgotten about them. So I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rule of 7 is good. The rule of 7 is good. Okay,
It's a holy number.
These are okay. These are These are Roman widow's mite-sized bronze coins right here. If you actually check it out. Yeah. I ordered a bunch of them from an antiquities dealer in a lot. Okay, you get a discount if you buy more than them. Similar to, not similar, but, in conformity with Scripture, in the book of Luke, it talks about Jesus Christ pointing out a widow who gives her mite, which was now believed and known to be the Roman pruta. Okay, which was actually made somewhere between like a couple hundred BC up to like 65 BC. And they were a bronze coin that was still in circulation during Jesus Christ's time. They were not worthless, but similar to pennies nowadays, they were practically worthless. I mean, they were indeed currency that was recognized, but they were practically worthless. And if you get a really good pruta or a really good widow's mite, you will notice that it has this little cornucopia on the back, and then on front it has this star design. And it's very widely believed that of all the coins and the bronze coins that were in circulation of small value in that time, that that was the widow's mite that Jesus Christ saw and the one that he taught the parable with. So the first person well, the biggest super chat of the live stream gets a real awesome, solid grade widow's mite. I've got about 4 or 5 of them. They're really good. You can use them in a Sunday school lesson. I don't know. First person to give us a $50 super chat is the one that gets to walk away with. Actually, shoot, I bought it for more than that. But so what? I'm sticking. I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking
awesome,
to it.
too.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna give an actual really nice, well-graded, high-quality widow's mite to the first person that gives us $50 super chat. And for everybody else, you give us $20 super chat, I will actually hook you up with a Roman widow's mite-sized coin. For everybody else, I will indeed read your comment in the chat. But yeah, for the first 7 people, I got 7 of these. The first 7 $20 super chats, I will actually give a Roman widow's mite-sized coin. Now, these are interesting because sometimes when they're doing archaeological digs, they'll find coins or shards of coins, and they're not exactly sure what kind of coin it is. They can see an inscription on it, or they can see that it was indeed a coin, but they're not sure exactly which one it is, so they call it Roman widow's mite-sized coin. If they're actually able to identify that it is indeed a pruta, then you actually get a pruta coin. But they're really cool. In fact, maybe I'll run in and on break or something like that, I will check out and see if I can't find my widow's mite signed coin. So anyway, first person that gives us a big super chat, if you give us $50 or more, then I'm going to send you a freaking real widow's mite. And then everybody else you guys. I have to be able to actually pay for the postage to get it to you. But the first 7 people to give us, I don't know, a $20 super chat or more are going to walk away with a Roman widow's mite-sized coin. It's pretty cool. You can use it in Sunday school lessons, so on and so forth. So I don't know. I just came up with that right now because I cleaned out the studio and I found that lot of.
He did come up with that just now. We
Yeah,
had no idea he was gonna do this.
he came up with it just now, right? Oh, looks like we got a taker right here.
Schmau.
Schmau says, love the show. And so Schmau, I got to put this on. I guess I got to take notes now.
Gotta be Schmau.
But this is Ward Radio 253.
Where does Schmau? What is that? Is this a Mandarin? Schmau?
Widows
What is
Mite.
Schmau?
Goes to Schmau.
I'm not even going to take
It's
a
fun
guess,
to just
Jonah.
say.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
like saying Schmau.
Schmau. So anyway, Schmau, please make sure that you reach out on the website and you have to send us your address so that we can ship you the widow's mite, okay?
Go to wardradio.com.
So go to wardradio.com. Yeah,
wardradio.com.
you tell him, my man.
Head to wardradio.com on the contact page. Put your information in there. Say, I'm Schmau. And put your info in there so that we can get a hold of you.
Okay. And Karen Colvin, you know what? Karen Colvin tried, and I don't know which one of them gave it first because the algorithm sometimes is slow in showing super chats. So I'm going to see if I can't dig up another one. If not, Karen, I'm going to send you 2 Widow's Mite-sized coins so you can give one away, but they're pretty cool.
Okay, so we
keep
have
going.
We have
Keep
a couple
going.
super chats. So first of all, Matthew Murray, he says, I love the endowment. It breaks my heart that the church has done away with the live version. The filmed one simply cannot compare. Matthew, you're not going to like my proposal for the endowment then.
I'm sure there
Not
is
bad, huh?
a lot of really good stuff about a live endowment,
Yeah.
but
They still do it at
Salt Lake City.
and Manti. Is that the other one?
I don't know, somewhere, but I heard that's still going down in Salt Lake City.
So, hey, Matthew, just head on down to Manti or Salt Lake City and you can catch a live one.
yeah.
Okay.
All right?
Awesome. Great.
Also, a Latter-day Saint who's been a member for a month in the Celestial Kingdom. We're so glad you're happy there in the Celestial Kingdom. Says, get Du Bois back on, please. The Stick of Joseph. They got the down low on David Butler / Sermon on the Mount, Martin Luther controversy. All right. Well, yes, I actually saw that video. It was a killer. It was a killer video.
Okay, what'd you think?
Yes, it's pretty good. Really long. But sometimes you just need to settle into a big, long scriptural, like, just taste the Mount of Olives was actually a temple, or Sermon on the Mount was actually a temple ceremony. It was good stuff. Good stuff. We're going
Okay,
to talk all about temple ceremonies. And Aunt Karen says, do widows get priority?
How much was the super chat?
499 cents.
Cents. Okay. You show me a death certificate, and yes. But I need proof. I need proof here. I don't want somebody taking me to town. You know what I'm saying? I can't say no to that. But I want to make sure that some progmo isn't just out there getting a widow's mite-sized coin to give to his grandma as a stocking stuffer to fake that he's still active in the church. You know what I'm saying?
Clint Thompson also says, I'll take one. Thank you, Clint. All right, so let's get to why you've all liked this stream. Because you're all going to like this stream.
Yeah.
And why you're going to share the stream with people preparing to go to the temple or whatever, okay? We love that we are going to eat into all the searches on YouTube for LDS Endowment. Instead of getting the antis, you're going to get this, okay? We love that we're doing that. So just to lay the groundwork here, guys, the temple endowment has been changed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 times.
Jeez, really?
Since the start of the restoration, the endowment has been changed 19 times.
Jeez, okay.
Just so that everybody's aware, the endowment changes, and that happens. And it's okay.
And it's not so much that it's changing, it's that it's all ceremonial, it's all ritual, it's symbolic, and it's being used for the time it's being used.
Yes, yeah. Format changes a little
Okay.
bit. The content has actually, at one point, and this is true, people, they had a wicked preacher in the endowment, and he would like say wicked things, and then there was a choir behind him who would be like, oh, da, da, and there was like booing. You'd boo the wicked preacher. I'm not making this up.
Oh no, this is actually
Sounds amazing.
I am sufficiently old.
Wait, you would boo?
Well, I mean, he was the bad guy, and then
You could boo him in the middle of the
there
temple?
Ed was booing.
No, we never booed. I am
Oh.
sufficiently old, and I was even though I'm a convert, I was old enough to, young enough to have gone through the temple.
What, were you
during that time.
baptized by St. Peter himself? Like, I
Wow.
mean,
What
Pretty
an honor.
close. I think it was what
an honor.
the Catholic Pope Thaddeus or something. But
The Battle Pope.
But it was a fascinating character talking about trying to teach a lesson that was not really salvific in nature. But as all of the temple ceremonies, they were to teach a lesson, and that's why this character existed.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, he's unnecessary because it served its purpose at the time.
Yeah.
okay, well, speaking of service purpose at the time, Matthew Murray sends us a super chat. Ward Radio clerk.
Oh, shoot.
You want to read the super chat? my
Matthew
man?
Murray says, Manti isn't doing the live endowment anymore. Oh, no. And the Salt Lake Temple won't when it reopens in 2 years. And I don't mind if you don't agree with me. I love you all anyway. Matthew, we love you, brother. We love you. Nothing but love, brother. But that's a bummer they don't do the live. Well, back in the day, all they had was the live, and this appears in the Bible. So I know that there's some antis or some Catholics who are watching the stream, and they're going to be very upset I'm talking about this stuff. But I'm getting this from the Bible. So in the book of Acts, chapter 1 of the book of Acts, the very first thing it says in the book of Acts, okay? It says, hey, I'm writing this book. It's the book of Acts. He says, the former treatise, he says, I've already written a treatise. I've already written a book. We think Acts was written by Luke.
Okay, what? Give me the reference. I'll pull it on the screen.
Acts chapter 1, verse 1. The very first words.
Okay, Acts chapter 1, verse 1.
It says,
okay.
the former treatise have I made, O Theophilus, of all that Jesus began both to do and teach. So he wrote another book about the stuff that Jesus did and taught. Okay, well, that sounds like the Gospel of Luke, right?
Yeah, most likely.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
But now listen, he says, all the things he began to teach until the day which he was taken up. After that, he, through the Holy Ghost, had given commandments unto the apostles whom he had chosen. So wait a minute. Until the day he was taken up? Well, he was taken up after spending 40 days with the apostles after his death and resurrection. Where's that treatise? There's no such treatise.
Oh, interesting. Is
That's
this one of the lost books of the New Testament then?
So this is a record that's gone. So Luke isn't
Ton
saying
of information.
Yeah, Luke is not saying, "Oh, this is the Gospel of Luke." He says, "I wrote all the things he began to do and teach, but right before he was ascended to heaven." We don't have that. Nobody has that. That 40-day teaching.
And we just assume because tradition holds that Luke wrote the Gospel of Luke as well as wrote the Acts of the Apostles, that the treatise he was referring to was the Gospel of Luke. But in reality, that's a misnomer based upon his very own explanation.
Yeah. So if you read it careful. So he says right after that, to whom also he shewed himself alive after his passion, after his death, by many infallible proofs, being seen of them 40 days, and speaking of the things pertaining to the kingdom of God.
Wow.
40
okay.
days is a long time, especially when this resurrected Jesus Christ is revealing the secrets of the universe, and we don't have any of it. It's just gone. Okay? So then he says, and being assembled together with them, commanded them that they should not depart out of Jerusalem, but wait for the promise of the Father, which, saith he, ye have heard of me. Now everybody assumes that is the day of Pentecost, the gift of the Holy Ghost that comes 2 chapters later. Okay, but the word promise in Greek is endoie, which is where we get the word endowment. So in Acts chapter 1, he says, the 40 days Jesus Christ was teaching this stuff that we don't have, and he said, wait here for the endowment. Okay? So right at the very beginning of the book of Acts is talking about endowment, secret teachings that we've lost, and the 40-day ministry.
Whoa,
Okay?
this is intriguing. Okay, before you go into this, we've got 5 memberships that we have to welcome into the Ward Radio
shoot.
Wigwam.
Shoot.
Somebody's been super generous. So,
Oh my gosh,
Ward
it's Schmau
Librarian.
again.
Yeah, Schmau.
Schmau's what a dude.
Yeah.
What a
yeah.
dude, Schmau. What a Schweiger. Okay, so Schmau.
Don't know what that is.
That's a little Mandarin. So Schwau gifted some memberships. We would like to welcome into the Ward Radio Worship Fidget the Crazy. Say, wait a minute.
What?
Fidget's like
Fidget's poor, so she relies on gift memberships that kind of run out after a month. and
she's
she
like
gets
the
another
she's
one.
like the Relief Society president.
You
What
know?
do you
Yeah,
mean?
It's like, it's all right, Fidget. She's like, we just pick her up. She's bumming a ride. We just pick her up. You know what I'm saying?
She's my own flesh and blood, and she's now just joining.
Yeah, I was about to say, you guys are like besties on Discord, and she's one of the very dutiful moderators.
She is a moderator.
that I am very grateful for. Thank you, Fidget the Crazy.
She's the resident artist too.
Yes, we'll have to show some of her artwork later on. So she's welcomed into the Ward Radio Wigwam.
Yes,
now.
and so Sister Fidget, brother or sister KQD, brother Jordan Tanner, brother Derek, sister Charlotte. We would like to welcome these members into the Ward Radio Worship. All those who can welcome these new members, please do so by putting a W in the chat. Sister Fidget, brother KQD, brother Jordan, brother Derek, and sister Charlotte. Beautiful Charlotte.
All right, is that Charlotte Barnes?
That happens to be my wife, yes.
Oh, rock on. Warm
She
fuzzies.
caved. She caved
and she did it.
No,
All
she
right.
didn't, actually. It was gifted to her.
Okay, cool. Rock. Well, she deserves it. She deserves it.
Hey, Jonah's not just doing hyperbole. Charlotte is as beautiful as Brittany. There's no and as is my Beth.
You know why?
Not
It's
that
because
she's my. That sounds very.
It's because she's tapped into the higher frequency
Yeah.
that Kwaku talked about today in his video, which explains why LDS women are more beautiful than...
Yeah, word. So keep going. The LDS endowment actually comes from the word endoye, you said. Which in Greek, which references the 40 days after Jesus Christ was resurrected, before he was taken up.
Yes.
And in the Acts of the Apostles, when Luke says, I wrote a treatise on everything that happened before he was taken up, people wrongfully assume that was the book of Luke, when in reality it's a missing treatise that hasn't been given, because the book of Luke doesn't talk about what happened after the resurrection and the time he was taken up, which is why you're probably reliant on other authoritative sources from the same time period that say what Jesus Christ was talking about, which I assume are apocryphal works, because you are the associate professor of all things apocryphal. Is that where we're going?
Bingo.
Oh, so the LDS endowment is in apocryphal lost books of the New Testament?
Correct. Yes,
Dude,
all over.
Rock on.
All over. So we talked about this in a live stream a few months ago, but we have many new members, and we didn't go into too much detail. But once upon a time, there was a book, and actually it was a letter that Clement of Alexandria wrote to somebody talking about a book. That's all we have. And he says, hey, in this book, it has the hierophantic teachings of Jesus Christ. And my wife also listened to one of these, and she said, you need to actually cite things and read quotes, or else people think you're just riffing. I'm not riffing, people. I will read it to you, okay?
Okay.
So
is this on the Discord?
This is on the Discord. This is on the Discord, actually. Yes.
Okay, cool.
It is.
It's this one right here that's the text?
It is.
Right there? Before he was seized by wicked men and wicked serpent, or...
Oh, no, it's not in the Discord.
Okay.
Actually,
if you can put it in the Discord right now, I'll put it on the screen so that everybody can see it. By the way, while we're talking Discord really fast, guys, I'm actually just going to pull this up on the screen so everybody can see it. But if you go on to wardradio.com, okay, or if you look inside now, it should be permanently saved in the description of this video. If you guys check out wardradio.com, you'll notice at the very top of the website, there's actually this really cool social bar that you can see right there, and all the way on the right you see you've got TikTok, you've got Instagram, and then you also have that little video game paddle that looks kind of like a PlayStation paddle. That's actually for a super cool social media app called Discord, and it's really fun. We hang out there. There's we're up to like 600 or 700 users concurrently,
people,
right? It's cooler than Reddit, more rudimentary and faster than Facebook. It's file sharing, talking in the foyer. We got a Relief Society. We've got a conspiracy corner. We've got everything cool about when you go to church on Sunday. But just it's a digital ward house, for lack of a better term.
It's awesome.
And if you show up, you guys are going to have a lot of fun. We guarantee it.
Yeah. And also, we would like to welcome into the Ward Radio Wigwam Brother Steve Live, and we would like to thank Brother Latter-day Saint for being a great ward missionary. All those who would like to welcome Brother Steve Live into the Ward Radio Worship, please do so by putting a W in the chat. Also, we have a super chat from Glenn Webster, who says, I bought the domain for Starbase Kolob
We need to talk. We need to talk.
After watching the review of the God Makers, thanks for the inspiration. Yeah, we need shirts that are like
Starbase
broadcasting
Yeah.
from Starbase Collab.
Yeah.
That is so funny. And the QR code on the corner will just be a debunking of Mike Winger and his silly idea of Starbase Collab.
That's a good idea.
That would be so funny.
That's a good
Starbase Collab.
idea.
We're doing it. We're absolutely doing it. Keep going.
All right, so in the Discord, now the most recent thing that I popped in there is a small excerpt from this letter written by Clement of Alexandria to Theodore, some guy, we don't know who that was. He's talking about that 40 days. Well, he's talking about these secret writings.
Okay.
He says, as for Mark, then during Peter's stay in Rome, he wrote an account of the Lord's doings, not, however, declaring all of them, not yet hinting at the secret ones, but selecting what he thought most useful for increasing the faith of those who were being instructed. Okay? But when Peter died a martyr, Mark came over to Alexandria, bringing both his own notes and those of Peter, from which he transferred to his former book the things suitable to whatever makes for progress toward knowledge. Thus he composed a more spiritual gospel for the use of those who were being perfected. So there's two gospels, one for those being instructed and one for those being perfected. Okay, this is what Clement is explaining. He says Mark wrote two, and one of them is more complete. It's for those being perfected. Nevertheless, he did not yet divulge the things not to be uttered. So even in the secret gospel of Mark, the perfected gospel of Mark, he still didn't say. I threw it in the Discord, a little excerpt there.
Okay, let me pull it up.
He says he still didn't put in the super sacred things, right? He says, nor did he write down the hierophantic teachings of the Lord. Hierophant, if you know, is the Greek word for a temple worker. So,
whoa, really?
So hierophantic teachings means secret temple teachings is what it means. Okay? But to the stories already written, he added yet others. Moreover, brought in certain sayings of which he knew the interpretation would, as a mystagogue, lead the hearers into the innermost sanctuary of the truth, hidden by 7 veils. Okay, so Clement of Alexandria is saying there's 2 Gospels of Mark. One is for those being instructed, and that's what we have. We have the basics, the milk. Then he says there's a second Gospel of Mark that was written afterwards, and it's more secret, and it's only for those being perfected. That's what this letter says.
That's
okay?
cool, yeah.
And it's referring to these mysteries that he taught in the 40 days.
And you believe that because the word for endowment from the Greek actually referred to what'd you say? What was the word again in the Greek?
Endoye.
Endoye, and that was referring to that 40-day time period after he was resurrected to the time he was taken up in taken up into heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So you believe Jesus Christ, when it said he perfected these people, that he was actually providing them with the temple rites and ceremonies that would lead to spiritual perfection.
Yes.
And that this was hidden in a secret gospel, presumably during the apostasy, by those that were probably trying to protect it, I'd assume?
Yes.
Or what?
Yes, to keep it sacred, because sacred is okay. That's the thing that we mess up in our society today. We think, secret? Well, it must be evil. No, secret is okay.
Yeah, the transparency of North America in the past 50 years is completely out of
Control.
it's
nuts.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's completely different than all of world history. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the mindset towards those things that are sacred is completely different now than it was back then. So, okay, this is I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
Yeah.
Keep
Now,
going there.
and proof, by the way, if you read the Gospels, Jesus Christ preaches things to his apostles that he doesn't say to the disciples.
Right.
He preaches things to the disciples he doesn't just say to anybody. There's levels and there's levels all through the New Testament. So don't pretend like it's all open for everybody all the time. That was never the case. It was never the case. That is a purely Protestant, modern, mainline Christian view that anything secret must be evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supported by Scripture at all.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And besides, half of the early Christians met in secret in order to not get killed
Yes.
during the years of
So you know what the other early Christians were doing? Here's
What?
some other stuff that they were doing. Okay?
peyote.
Well, probably.
That was almost a topic for tonight, and I'm glad we're not covering that tonight.
Yeah, the churches
this is a very holy.
The churches that are springing up in Utah, like out in the middle of the desert, that have certain strange rituals. Yeah, exactly.
What a sad.
Now, before you
perversion.
continue with this, we've got a couple of new members and a couple of super chats. You want to read those really fast?
Oh, shoot. We do. We're so excited that this wigwam keeps growing. We're going to need a larger wigwam. Brother Schmau again gifted 5 memberships. Brother Schmau is the best ward missionary we've ever had.
No kidding.
We would like to welcome Brother JJD, Brother Kevin Ludovic, Brother Run Shoot Ski, Brother Off-Road Armada, and Brother Justin Hancock into the ward. All those who can welcome these new brothers into the ward, please do so by putting a W in the chat. And we would like to thank Brother Schmau for his work as a ward missionary. And we have a super chat from William Woodall. This is his first super chat on a live stream. Super chat, you just hit the little dollar button in the bottom corner, and then we read your chat. So you can say mean things, and we're forced to read it. Oh, there we go. So then he sent another one.
Don't give people any ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We can't edit live streams.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Then William Woodall says again, do a podcast talking about the Deuteronomist reforms. Oh, William. Oh, William.
That's a big one.
We got lots about that. Deuteronomist reforms. Before 600 BC, Jews worshipped El Elyon, the father of gods, and his son Yahweh. This is why Lehi fled, and it's been proven that he forged a lot of scripture.
Wait, who forged the scripture? Lehi did?
Or the... I don't know. Who.
Well, we know that
to.
Lehi most likely read an apocryphal version of Genesis.
Boom.
Because what he preached amongst the Jews is what got him in trouble. But what he preached amongst the Jews is was more messianic than traditional texts were. So yeah.
And we got a whole thing about that. We can show that Lehi was using a different Genesis than we have. If you read real careful, we can see those things.
It's super quick. It's Lehi was an Ephraimite, not a Judahite.
A Manassite, yes.
Manassite.
A Josephite.
2 totally different kingdoms.
Yes, he came from the northern kingdom. He
so
had works that were uncorrupted by the Deuteronomists.
Right. They're totally different records.
Yeah.
Well, not totally
Okay,
different
cool.
records. But
So anyway, keep going.
All
Keep
right,
going. Let's welcome these people into the Ward Radio Wigwam and make sure they get their W, baby.
All right. Sister Going All the Way, welcome to the Celestial Kingdom. All those who would like to welcome Sister Going All the Way, please do so by putting a W in the chat. And the Stick of Joseph Bros. If you're not subscribed to Stick of Joseph, repent and subscribe. They say, heck yeah, lads, we need to get David Butler on the live stream. He'll blow minds. For those that have ears to hear and eyes to see, the endowment is all throughout history and the standard works. That's right. And we're going to talk about it.
hey, real
Okay.
quick, Jackson and Hayden, you're awesome. But I just want to say you've got to finish this film.
Got to finish the film.
What is... Okay, I'm going to stop that sentence. You've got to finish the film.
Mhm. They're coming out with an awesome film.
All right, awesome. Keep going.
All right, so in the first of our apocryphal works is the Pista Sophia, which is a Gnostic script discovered in the Nag Hammadi library. The Pista
Is it this
Sophia.
picture that we have right here?
No. Well, let's get to that. Let's go ahead and get to that because you got
Well,
a cool
no.
image
Tell
there.
me which one was the Pista Sophia right here. Is it this one?
No.
Okay,
no.
is it this one?
Well, there's no picture of the Pista Sophia.
Is it
It's
this
just a
one?
book. No.
Where's the Pista Sophia? How do you spell it? Do you want me to Google it?
No. I mean, we don't. There's. It's just a.
Okay,
It's just
just
a
start
text.
reading.
It's just
Fine.
a
The
scroll.
Pista Sophia. Okay. Keep
Okay, the
going.
Pista Sophia says that Jesus, quote, left behind the first vesture in the last mystery. Now, by the way, the word mystery in Greek means temple ordinance. That's literally what the word
Right.
translates as.
I
okay?
had heard that too, yeah.
So when we
In
now-
school, I think before anything to do with church.
Yeah. Now, it developed over the years to mean something very secret because temple ordinances were very secret. And now today we use a kind of a mutated version of the word meaning anything secret. It's a mystery, when actually mystery referred specifically to temple ordinances, a mysterion, mysterogog. These are people who did temple ordinances. It was the things inside the secret Greek temples. That's what the word means. So he says Jesus left behind the first vesture, like a mantle, like a garment, in the last mystery, and he put on the new vesture and came to teach the order of the second place of the prime ordinance. So he's teaching something called the prime ordinance or the first ordinance, an ordinance about earlier times or something. And he said, okay, now I'm going to teach you the second space of this. And he changes his robe to do so. That's from the Pista Sophia.
What year did the Pista Sophia come out?
That was, we think, written in the 3rd century.
So this is super early, just as early as our earliest manuscript of Luke or of John and things like that. And it's talking about a sacred ordinance that was known as the mystery, that was the perfection of the saints and the early Christians in the church, that was first administered to them by God or by Jesus Christ, specifically in between the resurrection and the ascension into heaven.
Yes.
And that it required the first ordinance being taught to the people before a robe was changed into the second one. And
they're changing clothes. Okay, now I should have. Sorry, let me connect.
Like, are there 12 calves that happen to surround the font too, or like,
actually,
is this like just a home run?
That comes from the temple. But yeah, so the story goes that this secret book from Mark was taken to Alexandria, and after the apostasy started happening and people started dying, these guys snuck in and made a copy of it and snuck out and started doing this secret knowledge, secret knowledge, K-N-O-W. Well, that word, knowledge, that we get from English comes from the Greek word gnosis. It comes from these guys called the Gnostics. And they had a library at a place called Nag Hammadi, Egypt, and we dug it up, and this is where this book comes from. So these guys are saying, we have the secret knowledge that Jesus taught in that 40 days. And they put it in this book called the Pista Sophia and in the book of Jehu and these things. And so they're saying these are the secret things that he taught in that secret endowment of power mentioned in Acts.
Intriguing. Okay, awesome.
Okay, so here's some more. So the Gospel of Philip. In the Gospel of Philip, he says, the Lord did everything in a mystery, a baptism and a chrism and a Eucharist and a redemption and a bridal chamber. Now, I think I put that in.
Wait, that literally sounds like freaking, like, what's it called? A chrism is an anointing, because chrism is where the word Christ comes from, and it's the root terminology of Messiah, just in the Greek instead of in the Hebrew, right? And then a marriage, that totally sounds like,
sealing.
Temple sealing. That was the word I was looking for. You said there was a baptism. All right, that's a living ordinance that is done. What was the other one that you mentioned?
Eucharist.
Yeah, Eucharist. That's a sacrament.
Of course.
Well, for all our Greek speakers out there, Eucharist means a prayer of thanksgiving. So if another way to translate this is, the Lord did everything in a ordinance, a baptism, an anointing, a prayer, a redemption, and a sealing.
Okay, awesome.
Now, if you're familiar with what goes on in temples today, that's exactly what goes on in temples today, in that order.
Yeah, in a way that it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the only church that has all of these ordinances performed in a sacred manner. Okay,
order and space is all laid out. Yeah,
and now some could say, okay, well, what about the Latin Mass? You know what I'm saying? That does make sense, but that's not secretive. Anybody can go, and it really hasn't ever been secretive. To the best of my knowledge, outside of the time when Christians were meeting secretly in order to escape persecution by Nero and so on and so forth. That is so interesting. Anyway, I'm going to catch us up on a couple of super chats.
All right.
Looks like we got Karen Colvin. It says, thank you for the show. And you know what, Karen? You get another one of the Roman widow's mite-sized coins right here. I'm going to throw another one of those into the envelope, the padded envelope that I send you. We also got Runski Shoot. Says, Jonah, any rumors on where the Vancouver, Washington temple will be located? Camas, maybe. They're just trying to, they're trying to clear out the homeless. And,
you're one to talk, California.
Our temple's already built. Okay. Our temple's already built. All right. Yeah. But,
yes.
you got any insights?
Yes.
To that
the church purchased some property across from Fisher Investments on the east side and kind of in between Vancouver and Camas city limits. You can see it there.
Okay. And Beef It to Be Fit.
Oh, shoot.
Gifted 5 Ward radio memberships.
Awesome.
And it looks like they're getting claimed. Do you know who else has given 5 Ward radio memberships? Is Mary Lou Howarth. All right. Thank you, Mary Lou. It looks like she gifted a bunch of those memberships. And also Charlotte Barnes. She's got a great profile pic.
Hey, wait. Her name. Hey.
She says... honey, I'm leaving you for the stud
not-
in the blue shirt.
That is not what she's saying.
What
How
the-
dare?
No.
How dare?
Put a blue shirt on, Ed. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Says, this is so fascinating. I love being a member of a church that's been around for so long. An incredible link throughout history. P.S. I officially changed my name. Oh, was she a holdout? Like
Only 15 years. Finally changed name. It was this podcast. You see this? This
No.
is the podcast that convinced her to hold on to me. You
to
know?
respect her husband?
To
No, I'm just kidding.
oh man, you're gonna get me
Savage.
beat up when I get home.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Okay, so all right, so where were we? So the Gospel of Philip lays it out and says, and the Pista Sophia lays it out. They're changing clothes and moving from room to room. They're doing these ordinances in this order: baptism, an anointing, a prayer, some kind of resurrection, some kind of redemption, and a sealing. Now, the Acts of John, another apocryphal work, which is also Gnostic, from these people who claim to have the secret 40-day teaching, is a crazy book, the Acts of John, and it talks all about this dance, right? Jesus gets together with this with the apostles, and he does this dance. And by the way, all of these things, Jesus has Mary and Martha and women with them. All of these things, they have women included. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Which those creed people did not enjoy. So the Acts of John, he says they're doing a round
To make
dance.
a point,
Uh-huh.
to make a point, women were second-class citizens.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the point. That
Yes.
Jesus was doing stuff with the women. Yeah.
Absolutely. He said, and
Yeah.
they were just as knowledgeable. They're-
Super important.
The
yeah.
Gospel of Mary Magdalene, Mary is teaching the apostles. Right? Just like in the church today, women can hold leadership positions and they can organize more than half the church together in Relief Society. And
Wait,
do
what
things.
happened to this whole the decline of America started with suffrage thing? I thought that way. Come on, hold on. Hold on. You're not doing this.
I can't believe women are suffraging. We've got to stop their
we
suffraging.
got to stop their
Stop the
suffraging.
It's
suffraging.
so
Yes, exactly.
sad. They shouldn't have to suffer.
You know, okay, I don't want to hear any more of this. I don't want to hear any more of this girl power nonsense, all right? My
Okay,
daughter
so-
comes home with blue hair, I'm blaming you. No, I'm just kidding. Keep going.
So in the Acts of John, it says Jesus gathers all his apostles together, and they do this round dance, and he teaches them to do this chant and this dance, and it's always in a circle. Okay, a dance.
Well,
Now,
we got to bring that back,
That
dude.
sounds
We got to
pretty
bring that back.
Sounds
you know?
pretty awesome.
Prayer circle's boring. We got to straight up make that a dance, baby. You know what I'm saying? That would be sick. Actually, have you ever been to a Jewish wedding?
Oy
No,
vey.
but he
what
sounded
I'm saying?
amazing. I saw Fiddler on the Roof.
Super cool music, super cool dancing. Also, Armenian weddings. Everybody gets in a circle.
Super
shoot.
cool.
And then you hold hands and you go like da 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 da, and it's actually pretty fun. It's like kind of
Wow.
like, it's almost like what like Russian guys do a little bit when they're
Hopak?
circled around. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
sick, man. It's pretty sick.
Killer. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. So
Well,
if we can.
that was the reason why the Council of Nicea, our favorite ecumenical
Do you
council.
think Jesus' temple smelled like old people too, or is that just like is that a modern thing?
that
That
hurts.
is not.
saying.
See, that's the problem with your
That-
LA temple. Our temple doesn't smell like that at all.
hurts.
Oh yeah, no, you know.
So this round dance really upset the Ecumenical Council of Nicaea. Now, if you're wondering how many apostles were at the Ecumenical Council of Nicaea, Ed, do you happen to know offhand how many apostles were there?
No, I personally like the Council of Nicea, especially compared to the Council of Trent and all the
wow.
others. I don't think. Yeah, I know there were a lot of bishops.
There were a lot of bishops.
Yeah, and that's
funny.
about all I
But
know.
how many apostles were there?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's right.
I'll say zero. Okay,
there were
yeah.
0 apostles
Hey,
there.
before the chat goes too far, I just want to acknowledge a comment by the Dove's Nest who says, Jonah Barnes, we need a reading list from Ward Radio of all of these apocryphal things and a book so they can check them out. And should we announce right now, just really fast, kind of the project that we're working on here?
Well, yeah, we're trying to find out which apocryphal translations are...
Oh, you're euphemizing this. We're gathering the Apocrypha together, sticking it in a book, and we're going to publish a Ward Radio version with notes from the apocryphal professor himself, the associate professor of all things apocryphal, Jonah Barnes, pointing to the LDS doctrines that have been lost during the apostasy, found in the Nag Hammadi library, and now not what's it called? That's the freaking word I'm looking for. I'm tanking.
I don't
You
know.
what I'm saying? Available to us
Available.
now, and we're going to print a Ward Radio version. It's going to be available in a new storefront that's going to be on the website within hopefully the next 6 to 8 weeks. So keep going,
Wow.
Jonah.
Has anybody seen the draft? I'm just gonna hold it up for
sure.
one second.
Well, we don't know. That's our rough draft manuscript of all of them. We're going book by book, but you can show them that we actually have a manuscript. You got the
okay.
manuscript?
Just to get everybody excited.
Okay,
and
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to warn people out there who want to read these things, I think it's awesome. You can find basically everything online for free. The only warning is that it's a lot. This is,
Hey,
this is over
Ed,
1,000.
Get back in your seat, bro. You're not a ring girl. you don't got the body for this, dog.
I apologize. I'm so used to just
You got your junk hanging out right next to freaking Jonah's noggin. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just so used to walking out of the shadows and having to put my piece down to get in frame. So
that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
I'm sorry. So just real quick.
Boom. There's the Apocrypha.
It's over 1,000 pages. And the thing about the Apocrypha is that it grows all the time, is that we find new stuff, translate new stuff all the time. And so it's a little dicey. But yeah, so the ones that we're going through in this, a lot of them come from the Gnostic text, the secret gospel, I guess the letter of Clement of Alexandria on the secret gospel of Mark. You can Google that for free. It's very short. Was the first thing that we talked about. The Pista Sophia, a Gnostic script. The Gospel of Philip is a Gnostic script. The Acts of John is what we're talking about now with the round dance Christ is instructing everybody about. The Acts of John was the most hated book at the Council of Nicea. They hated the Acts of John. And they oh my gosh, unanimously, right out of the gate, they said, anathema, anathema. And they said, every copy that we ever find, we're going to burn. They hated the Acts of John because it had Christ dancing. Now, dancing is kind of a funny word. They're chanting and they're dancing. Well, chant or cantor or kantos, back in Greek, kind of means to pray, actually. And then dancing, they're referring to hand motions or hand clasping that they're doing in a circle and a formation. And so I think they might have been overreacting.
Yeah,
but
clearly not an ancient.
it's not a breakdancing part.
Yeah.
It's not a
Wow.
hip hop.
And by the way, who cares if it was? Like, dancing's freaking rad. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
That'd be pretty
So,
cool. If it
anyway, Fubeka94, welcome to the Telestial Kingdom. It looks like we got a new member in the Ward Radio Wigwam. Everybody would like to welcome Fubeka94 to the warship as a Ward Radio watchdog, a Ward Radio warrior. Please put a W in the chat. Also, Danny Gray's got a little bit of an announcement. I'll let you read this one because you're besties with Danny Gray on Discord.
Danny Gray, I love Danny Gray.
Yeah, Danny Gray's
Danny Gray is one of our moderators.
And he gave us $50 super chat, so he walks away
Danny
with
Gray.
a widow's mite sized coin.
You need to
as
save
well.
that money. You know why you need to save that money, Danny Gray? Because your son is getting married tomorrow. So he says, okay, I just want everyone to know I love Ward Radio. Now, WR, he says WR. We're not sure what that could be. That could be the World
Renaissance.
Renaissance, Wisconsin, I don't know. He says, okay, I want everyone to know I love Ward Radio and I love the gospel and the temple. I'm grateful to be with you all in Discord. Very grateful for your patience with us as mods. Also, my son is getting married tomorrow. God bless Ward Radio and Bishop Carden. Congratulations, Danny Gray, and your son getting married. That's awesome. We're very happy for you.
Marriage is, the joke is, marriage is a fine institution if you love institutions. It is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I was a jerk before I got married.
That's true. We can confirm that. That's true.
Awesome.
There's whole books written about that, apocryphal books about what.
And now you're a bodyguard.
That's right.
And still sometimes a jerk, but married.
Well, to the right people though.
That's funny.
William Woodall also super chats and says the Hellenistic Jews believed the Logos, or Word of God, was a secondary demiurge god, and the King Josiah Purge is why the Jews rejected Christ. Yes. Just think if Joseph has a great segment on this with Mike Day, and we were going to talk about it a little bit too, those crafty Deuteronomists. But first, this round dance, we have some images in the Discord. Now we can finally get to some of these images.
Awesome. This one right here?
Yeah, right there.
Boom.
Now this specifically is the Ascension. So this is when Jesus Christ finally left after 40 days. So he taught these people something. And then after 40 days, they stood in a circle and they did this this dance or whatever it was, and said goodbye to him as he went up into heaven. There's also other images. This one is a recreation of a ceramic that was discovered. It shows a winged serpent wrapped around an altar, and the people surrounding them are doing some kind of hand motions in this type of dance that offended the people at the Council of Nicea. They did not like this stuff. They did not like this stuff at all.
Interesting. So specifically because of the hand motions that were discovered in the original of this artwork, the Council of Nicea said, anathema, we don't like this potentially pagan nonsense, so on and so forth, and crushed it underneath their boot, much like North American Protestants tried to kill Mormons because they just hate anything newer and cooler.
Well, but think about that. Why would you?
Or dare I say, older and better? But
why would you get so mad about that? I mean, Joseph talked about this. Why are they so mad? We're just living on our own. Right. We're out here in Nauvoo. We're not hurting anybody. Why are they so mad at us? These people in the Council of Nicea weren't just angry that, oh, this is some pagan silliness like Gamaliel. Oh, this is pagan silliness. Let it go. Let it die. No. They went and found these books and they burnt them. That isn't just, I don't like it. That's, you guys are abusing something that is sacred.
Okay, Jared Anderson asks, who is Ed a bodyguard for? And who did he used to be a bodyguard for?
Oh.
Can you say Ed? Or I think that's a pretty. Are you taking your life in your own hands, Doc?
No, I can tell you a little bit. So I'm completely and totally unpaid for Ward Radio, celebrities, personalities, cast, and crew. I won't say why it's so important that they have protection right now, but it is. I also, so most of my work is with rock and roll people, Hollywood celebrities, but I would say rock and roll people.
Is that what gave you the mutton chops in the headshot that you gave us the first time?
Well, on the Discord, that was if you go to the Discord, there's a picture of me back when I was working.
Oh, shut up! Is it still there? I can pull it up.
I suppose.
It's
I'm
back.
gonna look for it. It's probably way back.
But it's there.
Yeah. So I've been doing rock and roll. It might be not even rock and roll. It's just maybe.
Musicians.
Musicians.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Musicians.
But the rock and roll guys were the famous heavy metal guys that you would, honest to goodness, think were in league with Satan. It was that kind of song, or that was their image for the act. But in reality, they were all really, really good people.
Oh, that's funny. Well, and he's a bodyguard for us. Why? Frankly, because of the threats from anti-Mormons.
Psychopaths.
You know what I'm saying? Yep, because psychopaths. So anyway, we don't go from the parking lot to the studio without Ed, and we even go shopping with him. We buy him lunch, and sometimes we fake that we're rock and rollers ourselves and just go try and test drive Lamborghinis off the Sunset Strip and act like big deals.
He makes us feel cool.
He makes us feel really cool. Anyway, Jana Stewart gives us a super chat, says, I absolutely love Ward Radio. I love you all, but Jonah might be one of the funniest people on earth. Second is Carden. You know what, Jana?
Well.
You know what, Jana? I was going to say, Jana, that you know what? Because you gave us a $20 super chat or more, that you get a Roman widow's mite size brawn cards.
Dare.
But I'm going to now press refund super chat.
Dare.
Refund super chat, Jana, so you can retry that again. You know what I'm saying?
Jana,
so
I'll steal it and send it to you. I'm going to steal it and send it to you, Jana. Don't do it.
Does he have Roman widow's mite size coins?
Stick by your principles, Jana.
Stick
by your principles. Don't give in.
I'm blocking her.
This is intimidation. This is bullying.
I'm blocking her. No, I'm just kidding. It's funny. Okay, keep going.
All right. There's more. There's just so much more. I don't even know if we're going to be able to get through. We could talk about this for 6 hours.
We haven't even scratched the surface.
Oh
my gosh.
No, keep going.
You need to go faster.
In the book of Geo, or the book of Eo.
Okay.
Chapter 38. My wife is saying, reference it. I can hear her saying it. Yes, chapter 38 or page 80 to 100-ish. Okay. It talks about a few of the things that they do in this Gnostic ceremony, or that purportedly Jesus taught during those 40 days. It says, when you come to this place, seal yourselves with this seal. While the cipher, and as this is a very strange word. We're not totally sure how this translates. Cipher is in your hand. Furthermore, say this name. Say it 3 times. And the witnesses and the veils are drawn back until you go into the place of their father, and he gives you his seal and his name, and you cross over into the gate of light.
Whoa. So literally you are sealed to Christ until you cross over the gate of light, which I assume is a crappy translation for the veil, correctly? Because that's the whole entire essence of Adam and Eve getting kicked out of the garden. It's the whole entire essence of that's what broke when Jesus Christ was murdered's not the word. What am I looking for? Crucified. Okay. Before he gave up the ghost. And then the veil is what Brigham Young says is thinnest in the temple. You know what I'm saying? Because we're doing, vicarious work for the dead and so on and so forth. So he literally references symbolically this idea that you're doing an ordinance to access, pass through, affect, I don't know what the word is, the veil in that translation, which kind of insinuates an eternal significance, definitely not just for this life only, right?
Yes, well, we know that in this book, they actually have drawings of what they thought was the temple.
Did you put those in the Discord too?
No, they're weird, but it's concentric.
Oh man, okay.
It's concentric squares, and you're passing through curtains, getting lighter and lighter until you reach the inner sanctum. And there's people who are guiding you through
similar to the veils of the old
veils.
Temple in the Old Testament,
Yep.
which was a traveling temple, and that's where actually most likely we get the significance of the veil in our temple currently. Because
right.
It's not a mockery, but a mock-up or a what's the word I'm looking for? Not a type
version,
and a shadow, a version.
Yeah, a type and a shadow. Yeah,
exactly. Okay.
So again, it says, and this is on in 2nd GU page 122. Again, you will pass into the interior to the rank of the veils which are drawn before the great king in the treasury of light, or in the holy sanctum. And they will give you their great mystery, and they
will give you your great, and you said mystery means translated in Greek temple ordinance.
Like a temple ordinance. Yep.
So
yep.
they will give you their great temple ordinance.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's something about they will give you the great name of the treasury of light, so that at the veil there's some kind of a great name, a final name that you get, and they will be drawn back, the veils, until you cross over and pass into them until you reach the great man with a capital M, he who is the ruler of the whole treasure of light.
Oh, whoa.
And so all through the book of Jude, it's talking about you get a seal.
By the way, you keep saying you say book of Jews as in Jews,
No,
like people descended from Judah?
No.
Or is this your butchered pronunciation of one of those weird languages where it's like 17 vowels?
Yeah.
Like
That's
what's
the
going
one.
on?
Eoye is kind of how
do
you
you
would say it.
how do you spell this, dog? I got to look this up. The audience must see.
Okay.
Inquiring minds deserve to know.
It's spelled in English. They say J-E-U, Book of J-E-U, but it's actually I-O-U-E is how you would, I guess, more probably say it. And it's transliterated different ways depending on who did the translation or whatever. But, anyways, it's talking about you're getting you're getting names, seals, and ciphers.
Wait, is this the concentric
Oh, there it
squares
is.
right here
Yep.
that you have on Wikipedia?
The veils. Yep.
Okay, so I'm pulling this up, and it says the book of Jude are Gnostic texts through independent works. Both the first book of Jude and the second book of Jude appear in Sahidic Coptic and Bruce Codex. No, sorry, in the Bruce
Codex, right.
They are a combination of a gospel and an esoteric revelation. The work professes to record conversations Jesus had with both male apostles and his female disciples. Whew, good they delineated there. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking for a second we were going woke. But no, I'm just kidding. And the secret knowledge gnosis revealed in those conversations. And then here's the picture. That is intriguing. Those were the square what do you call them? The square veils.
They're called veils. They call them veils.
Okay, wow.
And they have little passages through them and people who are escorting you through them. And this is all according to, this is what they claim was contained in the secret gospel of Mark that Jesus taught in the 40 days.
Wow,
That's what all that stuff
that is intriguing. I'm loving this. Keep going.
Okay,
Oh,
so-
before we go any farther, though, Andrew Franklin gave us a super chat. Andrew Franklin, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I'm starting my mission on Monday, so this is my last live stream for a couple of years, sadly. I've been able to serve as a temple worker for a couple of months.
Nice.
And I'd recommend it to anyone who has time. Well, you know what I would do? I would say next time you go to the temple, just when the recorder's there, you should say, I'm not a temple worker. I'm a mystery worker.
That's right.
I heard it on Word
I'm a
Radio.
hierophant.
I'm a
should say.
hierophant.
Yeah.
Give me the respect I deserve. So, that is awesome, Andrew Franklin. Good to hear that you're a temple worker, bro. I think that's a lovely, an extremely noble use of your time. So, Jonah, keep going and talk to us about the book of.
Just want to say, Elder Franklin, we have a lot of missionaries who watch us on Facebook. And watch our stuff. And this live stream will post on Facebook so our elders and sisters in the field can watch us. We have a lot of fans. If we look at our analytics, we have people in like all these crazy countries, and we're thinking,
Oh, yeah, it's nuts.
who in the world is watching us from Nigeria? And then
Yeah,
we go,
man.
oh, it's probably the elders doing
Right.
it.
Probably missionaries, yeah.
So we love all our elders out there who watch us.
Also, we got Carolyn Wright Gaines Music says, this is to help for the security detail. Ed,
I
you,
love
you scored us a
Sister
super
Wright Gaines
chat,
music.
boy. And says, great show tonight. Love my Ward Radio family. Well, you know what, Carolyn Wright Gaines Music, we've owed you some cool merch for a while. Whether it's one of our first shirts or one of our widow's mites that we get, we're going to send you something for your super chat. We are super grateful. Please, did you have her address, Ed?
I know I have.
We're going to
her.
get it. Send
I
us
have
an
her
email.
phone number.
Yeah,
Carolyn
yeah.
is.
We're going to get it. We're going to send you something.
She
'cause
is
you
an
are,
angel.
You are a benefactor of the channel, and we are very grateful. Jonah, keep
all
going.
right. All right. So now we got some other cool things. So some archaeologists went over to Egypt and they started digging around these places, and they found early Christian communities. These are not Gnostics, but these are early Christians. And I put in the chat in the Discord a couple pictures,
Okay.
and you can pull up any one of these guys.
Which one?
One
The
is a
secret
diagram
mark?
of the graves that they exhumed.
Oh, I already pulled those up. Okay, I'm going to pull this up one right now. Let me go back to Opera. By the way, the new Opera is really cool. It's super good.
So this is a diagram
Boom.
of an excavation that was completed in Fayum, Egypt, and these people were early Christians. We're talking early Christians, and they were buried. And of course, they're buried with their feet facing east, so that at the resurrection they will rise up and face the risen Lord. And there's some very interesting things that they found in this crypt that they excavated.
Wait, by the way, doesn't the angel Moroni face east on the top of the temple as well?
Yeah.
Ushering in the the
That's right.
second coming, but
The
we're getting
rising
rid
sun.
of it. Okay, bummer.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
So if you look, there's the little images right next to it. You can pull up either one of those.
Oh, okay, sorry,
Remember
the images. This one?
Yeah. So that one. So this is a knot. It's a knot, a very strange little knot that appeared on the shoulder of the clothes that these people were buried in. They were buried with these knots either on the left or the right shoulder of their garments. This picture is even more interesting. It has tiny rosette knots that are. This is amazing that this is preserved so well, because they were buried in this garment. It's very hard to see what people were buried in. They were buried in this shirt that has rosettes sewn over each breast, over the right leg, and then a large 6-inch slit cut across the abdomen. There's nothing on the left leg. And so it has
Are
these
you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what they were buried in.
And
these
what
early
year
Christians.
was this burial?
Oh, heaven only knows. A long time ago. Let's see if I have it.
Well, among the first New Testament translations were in Coptic, which is Greek, so it could go way back to
Dude, that is freaking nuts.
30 or
I mean, even the
40
church is
AD.
doing YouTube videos about, like, temple clothing and so on and so forth. So that's not like that topic's off limits, because they're doing that on straight up YouTube now. The idea that there's like a 2,000 year
Right.
connection from the modern day and the modern
Mm-hmm.
church to then the early church. What year was this excavation?
So 1981 was the
So
excavation.
there's no way Joseph Smith would have known about this, made it up, or the Freemasons could have
Any
just
of this,
snaked
any
it
of
from
this.
somebody. This is crazy.
all the stuff we're talking about. Joseph Smith, there's no way he could have known about any of this stuff. And remember,
So
this
where's
stuff
the
is
archaeologist saying the Mormons were right?
Well, but we don't have time to talk about that because we got to talk about the bucket of cream.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That
That's
is
true.
really what's going to convert people, Carden.
Yes.
the
Thomas B.
bucket of
Marsh and his freaking bucket of cream.
The milk strippings.
You know what I'm saying? The milk strippings. Okay,
this,
keep going.
So this burial ground was used from 200 BC to 800 AD, approximately. And it is where they did some of these excavations. Okay? And the professors on that were Professor Wilford Griggs, Marvin Kuchar, Scott Woodward, Mark Rowe, Paul Evans, Naguibna Nawati, and Nasri Iskandar.
Nice.
These were some of the guys who did that excavation. I just know there's going to be antis who are going to be like, oh, well, that's probably not. So I'm just getting ahead of that.
You know, the names like Griggs potentially, but the last few, no, these are
Egyptian dudes.
Yeah.
Okay, where were we? So we know that, and that's really interesting in light of what we read about in the Pista Sophia, that Jesus Christ was changing a robe. He said, in my first robe that I had on, I was talking to you about the first order of the prime mystery. Now I'm going to change into this other robe and talk to you about the second order of this prime mystery.
Whoa.
And so that's interesting. It correlates with these special garments that they're wearing with knots over their shoulders or rosettes into the garments. Interesting stuff. Maybe it's connected.
right.
You know? Let's see. And let's see. I have more notes here reminding that women were all through this. There's another thing that they hated about these things.
Hey, whoa. Whoa.
Oh boy, here we go.
Look, I don't need
Carden's uncomfortable with this.
need any of this nonsense getting out of control. All right? You know?
We
Yeah,
get,
Continue.
we get so close to getting out of the ditch, and then Carden opens his mouth.
You know, next thing you're going to give them driver's licenses.
Oh,
you know,
let him
like,
vote. I mean, can you
seriously.
Can you imagine?
Okay,
You know?
keep going.
No, that's
Although
one
there was a
thing.
good argument the decline of America started with suffrage. But keep going.
Well, moving on. That's gonna get clipped.
Yeah, seriously.
Carden is
I've said it enough times that I'm just waiting for the supercut. I'm just waiting for the supercut. You know what I'm saying?
Carden is the menace to society that Brigham Young spoke about.
Yeah, exactly.
But Joseph Smith was also a menace to society.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
So-
That's awesome.
Okay, so what else here? Okay, so here's one of the most basic things that helps me every time I think about this, okay? The word Christ means anointed with oil. So Christian doesn't, I mean, it means somebody who believes in Christ, but it actually kind of really means somebody who's been anointed with oil.
Right. The
is
anointed,
what it really means.
The anointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Who's
word
the guy?
and the word What do you want?
Patriarchy.
You won that one. You won that one.
It's about horses.
Hey, we're gonna do.
Did you get that?
Yeah,
Did you get that? Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, Barbie is straight up in my top 5 right now. I am unashamed to say the Barbie movie is straight up in my top 5 right now, if not just because of the hilarious references to patriarchy and horses.
It's a little to do with horses.
You know, yes, hilarious. I loved it, and all the conservatives that were mad at it at the beginning were missing the boat and need to reanalyze their sense of humor. So keep going, my
right.
fellow patriarch.
Okay, so, where was I?
You're,
Okay,
you're about to go
So-
into the second.
so there's women through all of this, and Christ means anointed, and then church. Cool word. The word church comes from the same word kirk, which is where we get circle, which is where they get the word a circus, because a circus was always in a
Right.
circle. Okay,
Oh, interesting.
goes back to circle. Circle. You're thinking way back. What did Christ establish? If you say it in Greek, he established a circle.
A circle.
It's a circle.
Literally.
Is what he did.
Yeah.
You're part of the circle. Okay,
Oh,
and they had
dude.
circles, and this was a circle, and that circle. Okay, and then we eventually kind of mutated up until it means church. Mystery.
Well, we
means
still
temple
say
ordinance.
that now, though. We say like, oh yeah, he kind of travels in circles with people like that. you know?
Yes, yeah.
He travels in academic circles. He travels in, like in your case, you know,
Handsome The funniest.
Male model circles.
Male model.
Exactly.
Yes.
So this is incredible. Okay, Abstract Milk, thank you for the super chat. He says, I love this channel. Thank you for the great content. Crypto Tax Pro, thank you so much. You know what, Crypto Tax Pro? You get a Roman widow's mite-sized bronze coin. I got to write that down as well to make sure that Crypto Tax Pro gets it.
Dude.
So let me write down Crypto Tax Pro, and then also there's another super chat. It looks like from Carolyn Wrights Gaines Music. Oh no, she already gave that one. Sorry. And we already read Danny Gray, but there was another one that I missed here, and I don't want to miss it again. Polly Nikes said something, if I remember correctly, and I saw it. Going All the Way says, converted in 2019, just going through the temple prep after falling through some cracks. I never catch you live. Glad I caught this one. Awesome.
Who said that?
Going All the Way.
Going all the way. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So she converted in 2019, just going through temple prep after falling through some cracks. I never catch you live. Glad I caught this one. That is awesome.
Hey, real quick,
And then Bro Edwards. Whoops.
Sorry, falling through the cracks in 2019 is totally acceptable. Not acceptable is not the right word. We totally get it. 2019 was a time where, at least in
the leaders of the church bowed to the priests of Baal and then created the chasm that everybody fell through.
in the
Created the cracks.
in the leftist states, we could not meet at church at all.
Oh, okay.
And-
Well, actually, we could, and we tried, but there were, just some great and spacious building. It looked like it was funner to manage the great and spacious building than it was to actually,
We were waiting them out. We were waiting.
It was strategic. Our inaction was strategic.
Yeah.
Yes. Meanwhile, the anti-Mormon who runs,
John MacArthur.
John MacArthur, the anti-Mormon John MacArthur actually had to blaze the way so that we could all go back to church.
Hey,
It was great.
Look, 2019 is a mulligan. Okay.
Yeah.
2019 just washes right away.
For our
okay?
leadership or the people that fell through the cracks?
For the whole planet. Listen, forget it ever
okay,
happened.
cool,
2019 is just was a horrible time. We
or
totally
maybe
understand.
we remember how we failed, so hopefully we don't do it again.
Good point.
Yeah, that
You know
could
what I'm
be-
saying?
Could be
Bro
argued.
Edwards, I will move on. I will move on from my soapbox.
Good.
Watch half the people like, never again, not to Ward Radio. But anyway, Bro Edwards said, sometimes it feels so great to be official member of Ward Radio. Always amazing content, including tonight.
Oh, thank you, bro.
And I already said Abstract Milk, right? He gave us a super chat that says, I think he renamed, because I've never heard of Abstract Milk, but he heard about the Thomas B. Marsh bucket of cream story
Abstract
that
Milk
has been repeated way too many times in way too many books, and says, I love this channel. Thanks for the great content. Well, we love you, Abstract Milk. So thanks for hanging out with us. Keep going.
So, by the way, going all the way, and to everybody listening, when you're going to the temple, you're not just going to something that Joseph Smith made up or Brigham Young made up. You are revisiting 5,000-year-old ceremonies that our faithful, our four faith fathers were doing in Egypt and in the Near East. They were doing it on mountaintops. This is amazing stuff we get to be a part of. This is not a modern invention. You are part of something that is older than the United States, older than the New World, older than the planet itself. You're participating in sacred, ancient, cosmically amazing things. The temple is amazing.
Speaking of amazing, David Cozy II says, I still to this day have never heard the bucket of cream story in full.
Oh, wow.
Just spend 6 months. 6 months in church, in any organization.
Carden's
whether it's
got some
institute,
baggage.
Whether it's seminary, whether it's temple prep. In temple prep, they probably have the Thomas B. Marsh bucket of milk strippings story, because I've heard that freaking story so many times. Meanwhile, we've got literally temple garments buried in ancient sites discovered in the 80s of early Coptic Christians who were basically establishing a link between Jesus Christ and the original temple ceremony given in the circles, of the early Christians, and now the temples of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But no, pump them brakes. But Thomas B. Marsh,
The bucket of cream.
but the bucket
story.
of cream. But the bucket of cream.
Right.
Don't go inactive over a bucket of cream. You start teaching stories about people buried in ancient Egypt, early Christians in temple clothing, and maybe I'll take the temple garment a little bit more seriously. But no, milk stripping. You know, it's like it's crazy, man.
You are putting on vestments and participating in things that are thousands of years old. It's unbelievable what Joseph and Brigham put together, and they didn't know about any of this. All the stuff I'm bringing up here, guys, they didn't have a clue about any of it. This stuff was discovered in the 1940s and 50s. This stuff was scattered all over the world in different languages. It's only now kind of being cobbled together. BYU professors and Ward Radio professors are putting this together so that you can see it. They had no idea this stuff. They received a restoration of temple ordinances and rites that had been lost in the dust and the sands of history for thousands of years, and you get to go taste it anytime you go to the temple. It's crazy we get to be a part of this. It is crazy when you think about it.
So Natalie Scoresby comments in the chat, bro. I only bring this up. It's sad news, but I only bring it up because it's relevant to something I'm about to say. She says, I got divorced in 2019. Sucked.
Oh,
you know, I feel bad for her, but I actually had a friend that he had an odd specialty. He was a coder for dating websites. And I'm not kidding you. I have considered starting a Ward Radio dating app.
That could be on our...
a worldwide Ward Radio dating app to compete with Mutual. Because Mutual is not doing everything they could be doing, man. They're not striking when the iron is hot. And I've literally thought about doing that. You know, I won't name the 3 other sites that this dude coded for it because I'd met some of the owners and everything like that. But no joke, I literally thought, if we get big enough, I will literally start a dating app. I will start a dating app and start hooking up people that watch my show. And your wedding gift will be a DVD, a golden DVD of all of our content.
Wow. That's romance.
Yeah, right there.
That's romance.
You know who needs a good
What an
Latter-day Saint?
unromantic and self-serving thing. Here's all of me.
Here's my... You're welcome.
Cody needs a good Latter-day Saint woman.
That's true.
Dude, if there's any
Cody?
hot single chicks in Vegas that want a killer guy, oh boy, Cody the Oracle, man.
He is the whole package.
He's single. He's got it all going on.
And our boy David Alexander is moving to Idaho.
Really?
David Alexander, single, ready to mingle.
In his van?
David Alexander, who has the Gospel of John memorized.
Sound right, Carden. That did not sound right.
Yeah, podcasting with my new girlfriend. Hey, can you move over that? Okay, here we are. You know what I'm saying? We are on the banks of the Snake River, having the time of our lives. And actually, he should get a tiny home. He would be a cool tiny home warrior, man. I would go visit him wherever he was.
Dude,
he's
cool
the
guy.
kind of guy where if he started a North American road trip tour with a tiny home and put like an Apple AirTag on the tiny home, people would tune in just to see where he is.
Oh, dude.
They would.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
He would do that.
He's awesome.
You
David
know.
Alexander's awesome.
Shouldn't have gone so hard in the paint after Pastor Jeff, but most of the other stuff's pretty
Well,
good,
look. I mean, he spent 5 decades as an evangelical. I figure this is some kind of like family thing
Some,
between
like, baggage,
them. So
huh?
like,
You
let
know?
him.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
not gonna disagree with David Alexander on that.
Keep going.
Okay, so somebody's asking about changes in the temple endowment. So, So I don't know how much detail we want to go into this. But
Well, they're just asking you what documentation do you have that was changed 19 times. He's very interested in figuring out where that's been recorded so he could study it. So
sure, yeah. So you can go.
you just made it up, didn't you? When we caught you.
So just real quick,
No, I got it. I got it here in front of me.
You have you've made a list of all the different documented changes you have, so you know that it's been at least 19 times.
Yes,
right.
1842, 1843, 1845, 1877, 1893, 1904, 1919, 1923, 1936, 1945, in the 1950s, slowly 1960s, 1970s, 1975, 1978, and 1990, 2005, and 2008.
Okay, cool.
Something like
Awesome.
that. So I got a whole list of the changes that were made. Most of the changes aren't a big deal. It doesn't mean it's changing. No. And this is the part we're going to talk about now.
Okay.
The temple endowment is a compilation of a couple different things. Okay?
Cool.
The temple endowment has an instruction portion where you learn about things.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, you're reading something kind of like the book of Moses is what you're doing. You're learning about creation and about the fall. Okay? There's also a portion which is very sacred and we do not talk about, and that's the covenants that you make. Okay? The covenants and those things. And we don't talk about those, and I'll never talk about those. Those are very sacred and we don't bat them around. And by the way, anybody who puts anything online about those things or takes a camera into the temple, Remember, they have sworn up and down to high heaven before God and their families and everything. They've pledged their integrity to never reveal that stuff. Those people are pretty despicable people.
That's essential, because even if they have
Yeah, it's not funny. It's stupid.
Not funny.
fallen in their faith, their total integrity is completly
You wouldn't smuggle
gone.
a camera into Mecca just to make fun of Muslims,
Yeah,
and
it's like, come on.
what's the 3 times they travel around the rock? What's that called?
The Hajj?
The Hajj.
The Hajj is the entire trip,
Oh.
right?
Oh.
But there's a special word for the Hajj is the name of the pilgrimage, if I'm not mistaken, right? Then there's the throwing the rocks at the pillars, and then there's the anyway. It's not cool. It's stupid. Whether you're Mormon or ex-Mormon, it's just a cruel and uncool thing to do. But apparently, it's like all hip and awesome on ex-Mormon subreddit.
People
and so
just
on and so forth. Yeah.
Look. Some things are sacred, and some things are secret, and that's okay. If you don't have anything sacred in your life at all, that's a sad life. You don't believe in anything more important than your own, clicks.
In their own narcissism, their own
Jeez.
desire to say, I'm important. Look at me because I've filmed something in the temple, or because I badmouth the endowment ceremony. I am so special. I am God. Bow down to me. That's in essence what they're all saying.
It is. It's just for themselves. There's nothing more important than your own narcissism. It's like, that's a sad place to be. But the temple, so it has an instruction section. It has the very, very sacred section. It has a prayer. And it has, prayer and the veil. Okay. Now, right now, in 90 minutes, how many baptisms for the dead? Okay, how about this? When you're baptized into the church, what happens? In the actual baptismal ceremony, what happens?
Refreshments that aren't a bucket of cream.
Boom. Wait, you didn't have bucket of cream in your refreshments?
No, not bucket of cream.
I thought this was standard across the church.
Let's see. We sing a song.
Okay, so we have a hymn.
We talk about we have a talk about baptism. Talk
talk?
about the Holy Ghost.
Another talk.
We have the missionaries come out and give a incredibly boring first discussion.
Hey.
Missionaries, you've got to stop doing that at these
Hey,
baptisms.
whoa.
No, that's the sister missionaries. The elders do just
Oh
fine.
no,
Hey,
no,
hey.
no. Okay.
All went downhill with suffrage. It all went
Okay,
downhill.
I apologize for derailing this, but I've been a ward mission leader to sister missionaries for 7 years. And let me tell you, the sister missionaries rule. And they've always, consistently, gave the best baptismal talks.
Well, if I were given the easiest, cushiest areas with a car to get around, I'd probably do a lot better.
Oh,
too.
jeez.
You know what I'm saying?
we did not. Maybe a couple of the sister
I am
chain-
writing a script right now. I am writing a script for a movie called Sister Hairdresser that is actually about a rivalry between a bunch of boy and girl missionaries in Las Vegas. And no joke, like I am so hyped up on rival jokes to be made between sister missionaries and dude missionaries. It is so funny. Like anybody that thinks I'm actually like this is I'm loving this. This is actually really fun. This is actually really fun for me. You know,
Yeah, don't put hate comments in because it only makes them laugh harder.
This is a lot
Yeah.
like the script, by the way. It's a very funny script.
It's pretty awesome.
So-
Anyway, before you go any farther, I'm sorry to cut you off. Aunt
Yeah.
Karen has said, thank you for the super chat, Aunt Karen. And you know what, Aunt Karen, you've been very generous. I'm going to have to give you one of these Roman widow's mite size coins. I'm going to have to get the bag out. I'm going to have to get a couple more of these because Aunt Karen gave us a couple. So here, I think some other people deserve some of these as well. So here, we got some more. So far, just before anybody goes, I've been taking notice. Schmau, you get the widow's mite along with Karen gets the other full-blown widow's mite. Everybody else gets the widow's mite sized Roman coins, which are the slightly smaller ones, and that is for giving I believe it was a $20 or more super chat, and that's Clint Thomas, Danny Gray, Crypto Tax Pro, Bishop Bruce, another one for Crypto Tax Pro, and Aunt Karen. If you guys can please go to wardradio.com and send us your addresses, as well as some kind of proof that you are you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to send this to another address. So please make sure you give us some kind of proof. I don't know.
Do you read
can
your
figure that out.
email? Carden?
And then yes, I do.
Which one? He's
After
got
this one,
10.
I'm going to. Yeah.
Okay.
But it goes to the Ward Radio one out of Ward Radio. Now I actually spent an hour figuring that on Wix. So anyway, Scotty Mitz says 4 days ago, my girl America was born. I was like, wow, this guy's really patriotic. But I see it was Americia was born. Thanks to you and all of the LDS creators. It empowers and brings hope in times of trial. Thank you all for living the law of consecration and working to build the kingdom with your talents. Thank you.
Man.
We are building the kingdom with your talents and the millions of dollars
Thanks,
that are
man.
provided us by the Church of Jesus Christ
That's
of
true.
Latter-day Saints.
Millions of dollars.
And their tacit endorsement of our channel as, hey, should we name him? Should we name the accuser of the underground money? Remember?
No.
Do you think there's any underground money? Do you think there's any
No,
underground
he said there
money?
wasn't. He said there wasn't underground money.
No. Yeah, the
did.
guy
He
getting
said no.
interviewed, but not the other one. Not the other one.
Well,
But you think it's under the table? Yeah, you think it's under the table?
Yes,
nobody
that's
can
right.
make this good.
So,
So anyway.
prophets, seers, and revelators can donate to whomever they want. And
Look,
whatever
I'm
comes-
just
don't
saying,
wanna donate to us.
I got the Daddy Nelson money. I got the Daddy Nelson money.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
and after he's
right.
done donating to baby killer Raphael Warnock, even Uchtdorf chips in. Even
It
Uchtdorf
wasn't.
chips
It
in.
was his family. Oh my God.
And you believe
it was an
that,
account
Jonah?
associated with his name.
You believe that.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, well, his family has some explaining to do if they're donating to that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Who among us has not? Oh, I guess nobody among us has done that.
Yeah, exactly.
But-
so anyway,
okay, so-
4 days ago, my girl Amadisi was born. Scotty Mitz, bless you, my man. Go make more. You sound like a great guy, and I'm sure your
Exactly.
children are going to love you as a parent. And Clint Thompson says, it was an extended Carden rant about the bucket o' cream that convinced me to get a channel membership.
Oh.
Clint Thompson, welcome. Okay, now you have to hear my rant about suffrage. No, I'm just
That'll lose some.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
girl
all the
memberships.
ladies are like, delete. And Matthew Murray says, is there an SA ward in the Ward Radio Steak?
Oh.
Asking for a friend. Matthew Murray.
very funny.
Matthew Murray, I'm sure your friend is just as handsome as you are
Oh,
in
no,
your
no.
YouTube profile pic right here. And is there a single adult ward in the Ward Radio Steak? Well,
not yet, but there will be.
no, but there will be. In fact, dude, I've literally been like this close to pulling the trigger on the dating app. I'm not kidding you, bro. Like they just teaming up with Kwaku to throw big crazy parties and stuff like that. That would be gnarly. And Bishop Bruce says, hat tip to Jonah.
Nice.
Oh, you know what, Bishop Bruce, did I put you on the list? Because you gave a big super chat, brother. Let me see. Is
Nice.
Bishop Bruce on the list? Bishop Bruce is on the list.
Nobody deserves more love than those bishops out there, man.
No kidding. And, a lot of people don't realize how many bishops, stake presidents, entire high councils, stake presidencies, bishoprics,
Yeah.
70s from all 7 quorums of 70 and potentially higher love this show.
Oh, that's terrifying, people. We're in a worse place than anyone imagined.
Yeah.
We're in apostasy.
We've pumped out a lot of really good content lately. I think we had a very productive and very entertaining interview with Jim Bennett, as well as some of the non-progressive members.
Jim
that
is a
were-
good man.
Yes,
Very
Jim,
good man.
Jim Bennett is a very good
I think
man.
I think they got roped in with the Joseph Smith killed all the vampires episode. I think that's the one that
No, Joseph Smith killed all the werewolves.
Where? Oh my
That's
gosh,
what
I'm
did it.
so
It was-
sorry.
yeah,
Jeez.
It's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer,
Yes.
and then Joseph Smith killed all the
Werewolves.
werewolves.
Right.
Well,
And
course.
we were just naming some of the other good content we pumped out lately. We interviewed Connor Boyack and Greg Mattson about a hit piece written against us, Ward Radio, and other, what do they call us? Conservative members
Right-wing,
and right wing and
whatever.
far right and
you said the
Trump.
you said the conservative word on FCC
Yeah,
radio.
yeah,
You
exactly.
can't do that.
So anyway, we responded to a hit piece written about us that was kind of crazy, and we've got a really killer video coming out tomorrow with Don Bradley taking Zelf.
Oh,
off
so
its
cool.
shelf.
So cool.
Yeah, we're
So
going to be
cool.
debunking some Zelf on the shelf
Don,
tomorrow.
how many times can Don Bradley blow my mind?
It's hardcore.
He's amazing.
This is going to be the biggest takedown of Zelf from upon his shelf that has
Amazing.
ever happened. I would be
Amazing.
shaking in my boots if I were Zelf.
Don,
amazing.
So,
and have you seen Don's girlfriend? Hot.
Oh, good for Don.
Good for Don.
Good for
Scored.
Don.
Scored.
Yeah.
Don.
Okay,
Stud.
so but
I haven't seen a picture yet, but I'm sure we will.
I really want to get to this important point here. Okay, You guys are hearing this at Ward Radio, okay? And when this happens, I want you all to be like, oh, Ward Radio totally got this, okay?
You were hinting. I agree. Okay, listen. Seriously, listen.
Okay.
I agree.
The LDS Temple Endowment has been changed 19 times, and it's going to be changed again. And here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
When, like we were saying, when you do a baptism, you have talks, hymns, all kinds of stuff. Then you have the actual ordinance of baptism.
Right.
If you were to take away the talks, would it still be a salvific ordinance?
It would not be if you took away 49 minutes of the entire baptismal meeting. You would have an ordinance that really matters. That's 20 seconds.
Now, we love the talks and hymns, and those are all wonderful, but when we do baptisms, vicarious baptisms for the dead, we don't do all those things. We don't have talks and hymns and all that stuff. We just do the essential salvific ordinance. Same thing with confirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with other ordinances, except the endowment. When it comes to the endowment, when you do it live for yourself or vicariously for the dead, it's all 90 minutes long or something like that. I'm not sure exactly the timing.
89.
But something. It's a long time, okay? Now, I think that what needs to happen and what they will do is they will divide up the endowment into sections and have an instructional section, and you can go and you can hear the instructional portion. You can read the book of Moses. You can do that in a different room. They will have a section that is just a prayer circle. They will have a section that is the covenants and perhaps the veil, the salvific piece to it. And you can go and you can do 20 minutes, less than that, 15 minutes, and you can do an endowment and then go around and do it again vicariously for the dead. When you go through the first time for yourself live, sure, let's do the whole deal. Whole deal, that's totally fine. But I think that it is unsustainable to take 90 minutes to do one ordinance. I think temple attendance would skyrocket because you could go for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and you could get these ordinances done. You could go just see the instructional portion of it. It would edify all the saints. You could just do the prayer circle. Think how much more prayer power we'd have in the world. I think that needs to happen, and it's probably going to happen. And when it does happen, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. The important piece of it is going to be preserved, and it's always going to be there. But these other parts of it, I think, need to be divided up.
Right.
And so that is my theory, and I await a call from my bishop to repent.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
or a call from the prophet to consult. Because your education was in process analysis and
process management.
What was it?
True. Industrial engineering, process improvement. That's true.
Okay, cool. Could you make it so there's more than one bathroom in my stake center?
No,
there's only one bathroom in my stake center,
Really?
and it's actually the number one thing that Dallin H. Oaks brought up when he came to do a big, giant meeting in our stake center. The biggest church building in like a 50-mile radius is our stake center, but it's this type of stake center that they built where there's literally only one bathroom in the entire building. And Dallin H. Oaks comes in with the stake president. He walks in and he's like, oh, one of these buildings. Like, yeah, we've built quite a few of these, but they've got their problems, you know. And then, like, one of the ones he mentions is there's literally only one bathroom. So like stake conference, in between the first and like the second session, there's a line for the ladies' room that goes out the door by like 20 girls.
Whoops.
And so literally what we started doing during stake conference is we would tell all the guys, dude, go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? And then one of us would just stand in the door and usher the girls in. We'd just clean it a bunch, and we would start having the girls go in and out of the stall in the boys' bathroom just to try and get them through as fast as we could. Because there's only like freaking 4 toilets in the whole entire building. There's like 3,000 people inside.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so maybe you could consult on those stake buildings that we built in the
all right.
80s.
You know where to find me. I mean, I don't know if they could pay me more than Ward Radio pays me.
That's true. That's true.
Well, and you know, the big part here is it's not like we're going to gloat. It's not like we're going to gloat. But a lot of the little things that Cardin has been talking about on this show for a while has come to fruition, even if you haven't seen it specifically in the headlines.
Yeah. It's coming, people.
We are listened to.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I like thinking that I do. So anyway, we got a couple of super chats we're going to catch up on really fast. Runner Guy with a Sign just hooked us up with a super chat. Thank you very much, Runner Guy with a Sign. If you didn't get a chance to say what you wanted to say it in one of the comments. And if I see it, I'll read it on the on the air. And then we also got another super chat from Linda Hayes. It looks like this is her first super chat.
Oh,
Linda.
Nice.
What up, Linda?
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat. And Rex Good says, Carden, just letting you know that despite my grumpy comments the other night, you're still welcome in my entourage. Well,
Wow.
let me tell you, I would hang out in Rex Good's entourage any day.
That's right.
Gay guy entourages are super fun. Lots of show tunes. You know what I'm saying?
They're dressed better.
Yeah, dressed better. They help me dress better.
Yeah.
You know, we could talk some deep doctrine. Maybe invite you to the party.
The good king,
And-
man. Yeah, it's not an entourage with him. It's a court, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
dude.
Part of the king's court.
Rex Good. He's Ward Radio Wigwam royalty.
That's right.
What's a
Wow.
noble word that starts with a W that's noble?
I'm amazed you just spat Ward Radio Wigwam royalty.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's amazing.
It's pretty.
You just chop
So
it off.
you know how D is for Duke, and then there's Duchess, and then there's also the Earl. So you could say the excellent Earl or the dutiful Duke. What's a Ward Radio? What's a regal term that starts with a W? So there's the warrior class, but that's the fighter class. What's nobility?
Wellborn.
The Ward Radio Wellborn. Okay.
Well, I'm just going
that's
to
not bad.
the thesaurus on my.
Yeah,
That's
well,
not
Rex
bad.
Good is our christened. Rex, you are christened.
Can I-
As a member of your entourage, we now give you the name, the Ward Radio Wellborn.
Wow.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
And you know, if you don't want to go with the W, seriously.
Now your job is to develop the show tune we sing as we enter the room as your entourage. All hail the Ward Radio Wellborn. Just
Such
like
a
Prince
terrible
Ali.
stereotype.
No, he himself, like he gave a super chat once saying like he sings show tunes in the shower.
Oh, does he? Oh, right on.
Oh, and
Yeah, of course, I might be totally mixing up.
No,
I might
it's-
have just totally said something completely stereotypical and heinous and just pissed off a lot of people.
Well-
but I'm pretty sure he actually said that he loves singing show tunes. Unless, I don't know, I'm thinking
And
something else.
Rex is an opera singer with a beautiful voice.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
No, but he's made jokes
Oh,
about singing.
I've heard Rex.
Oh, is it?
Rex
Oh,
is
cool.
Rex is one of my peeps, and he's got a beautiful
Right on.
voice.
We have a super chat from Paulie Nikes 2000. I think we may have missed this one. He says, Ed, what are the over-under odds on the released first dates of the Stick of Joseph movie and Carden's Rules of Anti-Mormons books?
Oh, dude, Rules of Anti-Mormons. Now, you leaked the top 30. It was supposed to be the 10 commandments of anti-Mormons, but then I realized there was more than 10, and so I was going to make it 12, but then Jordan Peterson already took 12 rules for life. So I said I might as well go by 20 and then make it a playbook, the top 20 plays, and then jokingly make it a football playbook. And by the time I was done, you published the list, and there was 30 on the list.
It's in the wigwam, man. It's not like the
yeah.
public. It's not like heathens.
Yeah, that's
plebeians.
true. No, that's true. That's true. But so I think we're gonna have to stick with the 30. You know, and I got to do that soon. We're working on the Apocrypha, so maybe we do the Apocrypha first, and then that one, I'm not sure. But anyway, there's other super chats. You want to hit him? Daysten says, David Alexander and Pastor Jeff discussion/debate. I think that'll be very interesting. I'm actually talking with some content creators that are interested in coming down with Pastor Jeff, and we're going to go get haircuts together. Big swooping pompadours, you know, and... We're gonna go down to Hollywood Boulevard, and we both have a soapbox, and we're gonna like you know how break dancers will do like a
come
dance
on.
off. We're gonna do a preach off and see who can actually get the bigger crowd.
Be amazing.
You know what I'm saying?
Be
It's pretty sick.
amazing.
I think we're gonna dunk on him because it's tough selling the creeds. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding with you, Pastor Jeff. And then after that, I think we'll just do something dangerous. You know,
You need to do
Yeah,
the whole
just
thing with
like-
the huge coif in your hair.
Actually, I'll be honest with you. I think Pastor Jeff missed his calling. He's a Midwestern cat, you know, that's moved to Utah to do the whole ministry in Utah thing. I think he should have gone another 2 states to the left coast and just become a surfer, because you know he's not a huge guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a good, just medium build dude. Looks kind of athletic. Probably got a good center of gravity. That hair keeps him balanced. You know what I'm saying? And those kind of cats, they can just pop up on a shortboard and they can just shred. Like big guys like me, it's like we paddle, then we double stroke. And by the time we grab the surfboard and we lurch, and the water sucks off of our wetsuit, and we actually, the surface tension of the water, we get one knee up, and then we get the other knee up, and then we finally stand. We stand on this long board that is meant to float a baleen tusked blue whale like me. You know what I'm saying? It takes me like literally like 5 minutes to get up on a longboard. Meanwhile, like little munchkins like Pastor Jeffers like, yep, and they just look cooler in the wetsuits that are made for them too.
Yeah.
So I think we should take him surfing.
And no matter how wet he gets, his hair is always
Yeah, and I will say Cardin is funny to watch getting on the board, but once he's on, he is good.
Yeah, dude.
He's Californian.
I'm not going to say I've punched a shark in the nose that tried to attack me, but I've punched a shark in the nose. So, okay, anyway.
We have a super chat from Samuel Skeen. He says, I used to fall asleep during the endowment sessions, but I stopped having that problem after getting my sleep apnea taken care of. Love the temple.
Oh, rock on.
And Huey says, David Alexander purchased a van in Spokane exactly like the one he has in Australia. The man is assume. I think it means to say awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is awesome. Okay. But, yes, so as...
Wait, did you get Pauline Ikes? My missed super
Yes.
chat, Ed. Oh, whoops. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see that one.
So I was going to say, to be even more controversial, if we haven't already ticked off my bishop and stake president yet, to say that the instructional portion of the endowment is essentially just an apocryphal version of the creation and the fall. It's like the Book of Moses. It's basically the Book of Moses. You don't even really need that in the temple. You could have most of that in your chapel as a temple prep course if you wanted to. And then devote more rooms or more time to just shuttling people through for vicarious ordinances for the dead. Look, guys, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. We're not going to be able to endow everybody if it takes 90 minutes to complete an endowment. It's never going to happen. It takes way too long. By the way, endowments used to take days. It used to take weeks to finish, okay? And now we've got it down to 90 minutes, okay? If we can get it down to 15, we might have a shot, but there's 117 billion people who need the endowment, and we're not going to make it.
This is also the thing that's always puzzled me. It's like you can bang out 30 initiatories in like an hour.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can hammer out ceilings just one after another.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can do all this vicarious work for the dead literally in like 5 minutes until that endowment comes around.
Yep.
And I get that, okay, 20 people are all doing it together, so maybe in that hour, 20 get done, and maybe there's some kind of like the way the numbers work out, but I'm like, there's no way that we are endowing for the dead as quickly as we are baptizing for the dead. There's absolutely no way. If we're going to take this work seriously, as we know we have to in the latter days, we got to truncate some of this cheese, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We got to make the babies as fast as we can and get them out of heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Into this world. And then we got to go out and just buy boom, 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 boom. Vicarious work for the dead. And the weak link as the process analyst is the length of the endowment session. Also, at the same time, I've often said, like, the endowment session, the endowment is one of the least of my least favorite of the temple rituals. And I'm not saying I dislike it. I'm just saying least favorite. Kind of like Boyd K. Packer in the 90s. But no,
I love Packer. What?
Just kidding. I'm just seeing how many people. I'm just seeing how many people I can offend today. Actually, I love Boyd K. Packer too, because my favorite YouTube video on Mormonism is somebody took retro space age music and
I saw this
and made artificial intelligence or something, made it match the cadence of his little factory talk. It's like boom, ding, ding, ding,
yeah,
ding, 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 ding. Brothers and sisters, ding, 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 ding,
it's so bad.
Today we're going to talk about something meant only for the young men in this church. Ding, 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 ding. And it is the funniest thing online
so
if you know what you're looking at, right? And so, anyway, yeah, I just say that to see if people get angry, and no wonder the church office building doesn't want to let me interview the apostles.
Well, hey,
So-
well, I wonder why. So the decline of America began with suffrage. So,
You know,
Elder,
Yeah, Gene B. Bingham, can we talk?
what do you think about?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd just love to interview the young women's presidency. You know what I'm saying? They pull up the first thing of Ward Radio, and it's like, men, patriarchy. You know,
So
and
the
there's
new
Emily
forces.
Bell Friedman like clutching her pearls.
And this is why you always reach out to either Jonah or I or Brad or Kwaku. It's that simple.
Yeah, exactly.
So the other thing that's the most important, and if you get nothing out of this, tweet this out. If you know a general authority, send this to them. It should be standard in the church, people, that every time we have a refreshments table, that there's 2 lines on either side of the table. This one side of the table stuff drives me crazy. Okay? I'm an industrial engineer. This is driving me wild. We have 2 sides of the table. Technically 4 sides of the table. And we all stand on one side, and we have the relief side, and women stand with a little ladle, and they go, would you like some corn? And they go, there's some corn for you. And then the next person. It is the most inefficient process
Hey,
in
you
the
are
world.
making fun of my people. What?
It drives
Jonah,
me crazy.
That is my age group.
Wait, what's a ladle? Where do you get the ladle full
You know,
of corn?
all the really sided women stand on one side of the table, and they get, would you like a scoop of corn?
Where? In the temple?
And they put it, no, just at any refreshments, any activity.
Oh, I thought they were serving food in the temple now. It's
Wait,
like,
they don't
gosh, I
serve
got to
food
go
in
more
your
often.
temple? Yeah.
Dude, they closed our cafeteria. The LA temple had the coolest cafeteria. It was huge. It was it was bigger than Dodger Stadium's cafeteria. I'm not kidding you. It had to have been like 150.
Jeez.
It was what was it? Or was it not?
It was not that big. It was big. It was a full-size cafeteria.
Bro, it was bigger than
like
3 cultural halls.
like a middle school
Holy cow.
cafeteria.
They had a straight up cafeteria and it was awesome. You had all of like the regular Mormon grandma stuff, like funeral potatoes, the Jell-O, the handmade peanut butter
Stuff
and
for
jelly
us old people that wear
sandwich.
dentures because
Yeah,
it matters.
yeah, exactly. It was crazy. But then they would also like, dude, sometimes there'd be like tri-tip. There'd be like Asian food, the homemade version of like orange chicken. You know, it's like you could literally go to the temple, do a session, then go out into the cafeteria. And it was priced at cost too. That's the other thing.
Wow.
Like you'd get like mashed potatoes with some really nice brisket and gravy and grapes.
shoot.
And like you get this full-blown meal and they'd be like, that is going to be $5.32, brother. And you're just like, rock on. Like, I'm buying lunch from. I'm going to make it rain in the temple cafeteria. You know what I'm saying? It was awesome. But they got rid of it. And now that whole entire wing of the temple is not really in use.
Oh.
The big, massive kitchen isn't in use. It was so big, their cafeteria, that they had those rolling thingies like you have at BYU. So you can just put your, your tray down, and it rolls past like the little assembly line of people washing dishes and things like that. Yeah.
So what we do now is afterward is we usually go get our 2 tacos for $1.49 at Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
And that's we finish off our
No better tacos than Jack in the Box.
I'd beg to differ. So anyway,
on a senior citizen's budget, it's 2 tacos.
It's
at
2
Jack in the Box.
Hey, we'll take
now
2
with
tacos.
what we're paying you with that Daddy Nelson and Razban money.
Right.
All right.
Sweet
Do you
raspberry
think
money.
the anti-Mormon ex-Mormons are always questioning where we get our money from and from which apostle realize that he pays in pure gold?
It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In Nephite, gold coins, actually.
Yeah, just 2 of the 3 Nephites actually just show up with bags of money. And they just go, here are your, and what's the name of the coins in the Book of Mormon?
Cephalons
Ziph?
or something. Ziph, that's one of them.
Yeah. Here is your ziph
Here's a Shemlon.
and your myrrh and talents for the month of October.
When I was on the phone with the Mormon Meshiva the other day, we talked a little bit about Zeph and all that kind of stuff. It's we'll get them on
Okay, so
someday.
we've got a member for 1 month, Chai Hodson, says, I value the length of the endowment. It is a Christ-centered guided meditation. Also, Cardston had the best roast beef in their cafeteria. I miss it. I believe he was talking about the Alberta, Canada temple, which is...
Cardston. Yeah, that's where my brother was married, in the Cardston Temple.
Yeah, and speaking of Cardston, we were originally asked if Ward Radio could be on their TV in Cardston.
Yeah, they wanted to broadcast...
So did you have? Were you able to reach out to these people? They reach out to us?
Yeah, I did actually. That was on Facebook. He reached out.
Okay, cool.
And I
awesome.
said, yeah, we probably could. They want.
So
us
anyway, look, I'll tell you right
demand.
now. The old ladies in the LA temple who had their cafeteria shut down 2 years ago have been waiting for a chance to flex their beef brisket and mashed potatoes game, bro. So any day you want Chai Hodson, any day you want our old people, will crush your old people.
Wow.
Absolutely.
This internal strife, brethren, a house divided against itself cannot stand.
We're gonna have a beef off.
A beef off.
And beef it to beef it.
International
is going to be the one that is the not the analyst but the judge. All right. So anyway, you value the length of endowment. You know, I've often said this. My least favorite of all of my favorite temple ordinances is the endowment. Maybe it's just like my ADD. Maybe it's the videos. I don't know what it is. Right. I don't vibe with as much. Okay. And I do, however, love that you get to go in the celestial room afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And that's where you can really just, in my experience, kind of just really calm your soul and just listen. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the only other place, maybe outside of some of the very respectable meditative faiths, such as the what's the place
Eastern
that
what?
me and Kwaku just went to.
The Self-Realization Fellowship.
Self-Realization Fellowship. They're good at making sacred spaces
Great
as well.
people.
But where you can really just like meditate and calm your soul. And so I've always viewed the endowment as just the price that I pay to be able to get into the celestial room
Right.
where I can really calm my soul. Just like listening to Boyd K. Packer was the price I had to pay to get to Elder Holland back in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying?
I love Packer, dude. Packer was one of my favorites.
He writes better than he talks. Like,
Okay,
You
sure.
know,
Yeah.
he does sound
Oh,
like
I
a hobbit
love
that grew
Packer
up. You know,
so much.
like, do you know east of Mount Mordor, in the hidden hills?
Okay, I'm gonna
Of the
I'm gonna have to
hobbits.
interrupt this nonsense because I this is more or less the time I joined the church. I at least remember Elder Packer and I remember these videos.
We would like to
And-
welcome.
And the problem with
Ed
young kids nowadays,
Thomas.
yeah, he called me out by name. Yeah, the problem is that young kids nowadays don't learn discipline, and this super important part of discipline is everything in the For Strength of Youth pamphlet, which includes the stuff that Elder Packer talks about.
These kids these days.
It's not. It's
Flogging the dolphin.
It's not. It's. Well, I'm talking about dressing, maybe potentially not in a.
I'm
in
just
a string
offended he
bikini.
called it the little factory. Because, you know, where I'm standing, it's the big factory.
Oh, jeez.
You know?
Oh, jeez.
You know what? We can't edit live. What is wrong?
I think only like 2 people in the chat even
This
get
is a
the joke.
podcast about the
You know?
endowment.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah, you're right. Shoot. Sorry.
This stuff taught baby boomers how to be disciplined, and I don't know that it's happening much anymore.
I enjoyed our
And
search for happiness.
It breaks my heart.
Oh yeah, our search for happiness was great.
I give you credit. I give credit where credit is due, and I enjoyed our search for happiness. It
Well,
was a
so
good
look.
one.
The Temple Endowment. Look, the first half of the Temple Endowment, the instruction. Look, if you would just think of yourself as Adam,
Yeah.
like really, not just when you're at the temple, when you kneel down to pray every night, when you put on your garments every morning, just think of, if you really internalize this, like think of yourself as an atom, as a type of atom. That's like basically the whole point.
Dude, bro. You and I were at BYU almost the same time. Who is
were
the
at the same
super popular American heritage professor? Do you remember his name?
Oh, shoot.
Hugh Nibley.
No. I know who you're
no,
talking
no.
about. Oh,
There
man.
was a super popular American heritage, which was one of the core classes that you end up having to take in the early 2000s. at BYU.
Everyone took that class.
Everybody had to take it, and it was in the JSB. It was an 800 student class, and he taught like 7 classes straight every single day. Everybody had to take him. It was a very difficult class, but it was American heritage. And
Awesome
You had
class.
to take it as a freshman, and he was a very talented orator. He was humorous. He could dance. He could sing. His family was talented. Like one day when he taught about Thomas Jefferson, he came in and did a musical presentation on like the early 13 colonies that he sang with him and his son, like it was Hamilton before Hamilton came out, in like tri-cornered hats and like the full Revolutionary War garb. I mean, it was like I went to class to be just entertained. Like it was, I passed the class with flying colors and never had to study because I'm a freaking genius and all the other wimps had to study. So it wasn't, I didn't go there because I had to. But I'm just kidding. I was just seeing if I could start ticking you off. But I went to class utterly to be entertained, and one of the things he did was Halloween 2003 or 4. He calls everybody that wore a costume to class on Halloween. This was 2003, 2004. Wait, no, I served from 2002 to 2004. So this is 2005 or 2006. He calls everybody up that's wearing a costume for us to do like, you know, a costume competition. And this guy savaged a student harder with one of the funniest jokes I ever heard in my life was by the American Heritage professor, and he improv'd it on the spot. And there was about 20 kids that came up, and they all had different costumes. One person did the really cool grotesque thing. They were, a hair and makeup student in the acting major or something like that, and they came dressed like, the clown from It or something. And there was another person dressed like Pocahontas, but in completely like beautiful, historically accurate from the tribe she was from, like regalia. And then,
wow, cool.
He's walking by with a microphone and letting everybody say, "This is, hi, I'm Stephen Allred, and this is my costume." There was a lot of guys that dressed like soccer players from their Latin American countries that they served in, and they had a chance to say, like, "Viva Boca" or whatever,
Yeah.
But then there was this one guy that had worn a flesh-toned leotard, so he looked naked, and then he had a little felt leaf on his junk, right? And he was jokingly dressed as Adam that you see in all of the medieval artistic depictions, right? You know what I'm saying? And he said, "Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't want to disrespect your class or something, but if you haven't been able to tell, I'm the father of all living, but I know it's hard to tell because I'm not like the real one, but I'm Adam." He's like, "Oh yeah, I knew you weren't the real one." He's like, "Oh really? How'd you know?" And he grabs the mic and he says, "Adam's leaf was bigger."
Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh.
Dude, the class just starts roaring. This professor walks away and he's like, "Yeah, Adam's leaf was bigger." It's like the things you could do in the 90s and the early 2000s that you could never do. And by the way, I give credit to the kid because he started laughing so hard and he was grinning ear to ear. Like, it was funny. It was one of the most comedic moments out there. It's one of those things where you get roasted, but you get roasted in a way where you're like, "That was so good." Like, I have to give it to you.
Wow.
I just have to give it to you.
Savage.
Yeah, it was utterly savage.
Amazing.
I would give him a t-shirt if I knew his name.
I can't remember the dude's name.
Yeah, so anyway, keep going. We're
have
already
a few
into
super
double
chats.
overtime.
I know we're in overtime.
Let's catch up on super chats.
A couple
and
super
we gotta
chats
get
here. Let's see. We got Palinakase.
Yeah.
2000. Technically, the decline of America began with a certain generation of people that prioritized their needs over every other. What was that generation?
That's
obviously
false.
Gen X.
Yeah, it is. Let me tell you something. Everything that Cardin worships was made by my generation. Everything.
Velcro sneakers.
Everything.
Velcro sneakers.
He is so arrogant and ungrateful.
Oh, arrogance was invented by boomers?
And ungrateful for all that we have given him.
I just want you to scream, "Get off my lawn."
Oh, I've actually done that on the Discord, actually.
You've done like, "Get off my lawn."
Ellis, get off my lawn.
That's
Ellis,
funny.
I see you.
All right, dude, we only got like 5 minutes left, my man. Of course,
Okay,
we're probably going
so
to talk longer than that.
Just
but-
the point. Okay, so just to recap what we've gone over, we could go forever and ever, but just to recap what we've covered here, people. All right, so in the first verses of Acts, we read that there's some kind of a missing record about Christ's teachings during the 40 days. Letter of Clement of Alexandria says these secret teachings were written down by Mark and kept in a separate gospel in Alexandria. The one that we have in the New Testament is for those being instructed. The secret one was for people being perfected. When the apostasy kicks into full gear, these people sneak out that book, and they call themselves the Gnostics because they say they have the secret knowledge. They also screw it up. Okay, Gnostic stuff gets wacky too. But they say they have the secret teachings that Jesus Christ taught during those 40 days. And some of their works we've read here tonight show that they had circles of prayer that they were doing. They were changing robes and garments and passing through veils. They had rosettes sewn onto their garments, and they were doing hand signals. They had ciphers, seals, and names that they were repeating to pass through the veils. And they were... What else did we miss? Oh, and that
they
Christ
were
was
buried with knots that were tied in.
Yep. On their shoulders and rosettes on their clothing, and all these things are kind of hinted at. And they're, of course, they've been perverted and messed up, but they are so sacred that the Council of Nicea ordered every copy they could find of these things to be burned. You don't do that to somebody you just don't like. You do that to something you never want anyone to ever see. It's like the Chateau d'If. You don't send somebody to the Chateau d'If if they're guilty. You send them to the Chateau d'If if they're innocent.
By the way,
right?
The Chateau d'If. First person that says from what book, by what author came the Chateau d'If gets the last available Roman widow's mite sized coin. So from whence cometh the Chateau d'If?
Yeah.
My friends. With that said, guys, before we go any farther, I want to make sure, can you double check that I've got the list correctly of anybody that gave a $20 super chat or more? Our first 2 super chatters that get the actual Roman widow's mite, that is a pruta from that era, are Shmau, and Karen, who were the first people to super chat today, the necessary quantity in order to get a real, authentic, full-blown, and identifiable widow's mite, of which I have 2. So you guys get the first 2 widow's mites. Then the small Roman widow's mite-sized bronze coins that have been dug up archaeologically and reasonably surmised to be coins. There's like 6 candidates for what a Roman widow's mite was, and if they ever find a coin that is worn enough that it's kind of hard to tell exactly what inscription it comes from, they just call it a widow's mite sized coin because they can't quite verify it. But it's still pretty awesome. You can use it in a Sunday school lesson, and it's great. It actually is an authentic Roman era bronze coin, or a shard of a coin, because sometimes they've either been corrupted by dirt and time or whatever, but it's pretty cool. You can look at them. It's a little 2,000-year-old chunk of bronze that was part of a coin once upon a time. And anyway, they're in these super cool, awesome little cases right here. I was able to purchase a lot of them. And I saw them and I thought, you know what? I'm going to use these as giveaways during a live stream on the Ward Radio Wigwam. And so anyway, the people that get the small Roman widow's mite sized bronze coin are Clint Thomas, Danny Gray, Crypto Tax Pro, Bishop Bruce, Crypto Tax Pro again, Aunt Karen gets 2, I believe, and Scotty Mitz, as well as Rex Good, both get 1 as well. And let me see, 4th super chat for tonight. When can I get a Heaven's Veteran hat? I am plus 20 total, but I want a hat rather than the ancient boomer era coin. That's funny. You know what? I'll throw you on the list because you have given myriad super chats, but we don't have the hats made yet because I have to order in bulk these from the provider that makes the shirts and the hats. So the first thing we're giving away are shirts, and then the second thing we're giving away a hat. So just stay tuned. If you want a hat, just stay tuned, my man. But for now, we will indeed send you a Roman widow's mite sized bronze coin with a little thank you letter in the packaging as well. So you guys have 24 hours. You got 24 hours from 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today, Tuesday night. Shmau, Karen, Clint Thomas, Danny Gray, Crypto Tax Pro, Bishop Bruce, Crypto Tax Pro again, Aunt Karen, Scotty Mitz, Rex Good, and Polly Nikes. You guys have 24 hours to give me your address so I can send you these things, or else you forfeit your Widow's Mite coin. You know what I'm saying? It's going to stay here in the Ward Radio Wigwam and be given away in a different live stream to somebody else. So that's the deal. That's the story, and we're sticking to it. We hope that you guys can make sure you get those pretty fast to us so we can send them out to you tomorrow. Other than that, if you haven't had a chance yet, please make sure you like the stream. We got hundreds of people watching us right now, but only 286 likes. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind smashing that like button, that'd be a super big help to us. Also, stay tuned. Tomorrow is an incredible video coming out that just finished editing that it's pretty interesting. We take Zelf off the shelf. It's a Zelf takedown.
So good.
You know what I'm saying?
It's really, really, really good.
So yeah, it's pretty wild. And also the bonus materials that members get to see first are actually quite hilarious. It has to do crazy or clairvoyant, the visions of Wilford Woodruff. And I got to tell you, it is peak Kwaku and Brad simultaneously. And Don Bradley as well. He came by the studio to record that one with us, and it was a lot of fun. So anyway, yeah, this has been awesome. Do you have anything you want to say, Ward Librarian, before we go?
Just You're part of something so amazing. Go to the temple, wear your garments. You're part of something so amazing. We can't even believe how cool it is. It's all over these ancient documents, and no one else in the world has a clue what they mean. We know what they mean.
Exactly.
And dude, I was asked by an 8-year-old. It was really cool. There was this kid in my who says, "I want Brother Ellis to give a talk on my baptism." I was like, "Dude, yeah." I was like, you're cool when like the 8-year-olds think you're cool. Like that. I'm sorry. I just like that's the way it is. Also, dude, I totally gave $50 to a kid in my ward, just today. It was hilarious. And dude, I'm genius on this. I'm genius. Okay, look, with my little nieces and nephews in Utah. All right. You know, my sister had, like 3 or 4 kids, right? And every time before I show up, I just stack up on singles. Like I just stack up on a ton of singles and some $5 bills. And when I walk in, I'm like Robert De Niro in a Brooklyn Tale. All right. You know what I'm saying? I just walk in. I'm like, "Oh, hey, yo, what's up?" High five. "Hey, dude, you want some money?" You know what I'm saying? And then the other kid comes like, "Hey, Uncle Garden's here." And then I just straight make it rain $1 bills. Right. And I'm like $12 in, and all the other all the moms are like, "Oh, you don't have to give them money." I'm like, "It's $1. Like it's literally $1, and the kids are all stoked out of their mind because like, "I can go buy a gumball with this thing." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Yeah, dude, come back for more later on. Come back for more later on." I literally make it rain on my nieces and nephews. And by the time I'm done on that vacation, I've given up like $50. But literally by like the third day that I'm there, I whip out the $5 bills, and in front of the other uncles, I say, "Who's your favorite uncle?" You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And without thinking twice, they're like,
yeah.
like, "Oh, Uncle Garden. And they look around at the other uncles and they grab the money and then they go, right?
Yeah.
And one time I had one of the uncles get pissed. He's like, "You realize you're just buying love, right?" And I said, "Yes.
Yeah.
Yes."
Okay.
Like I completely do. I 100% realize that. By the way, $50 is the cheapest love you can buy. You could all do this too, but you're too cheapskate. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I was walking into the chapel because we had to mount some TVs to the wall. Because, if you leave the church to its vices, it'll stay in the 1980s forever. But I decided HDMI cords are cool, and that, we might want to use PowerPoint for a Elders Quorum lesson once instead of photocopies.
Slow down.
We gotta slow down. So anyway, I was walking in, and we were going to be we were bolting these TV thingies to the wall, right? You'd think the Beverly Hills Second Ward would have its own, it's freaking, we're in Los Angeles here. You think they'd have 60-inch screens or something like that. But anyway, so we're bolting into the wall, right? So I grab my tools and I walk in the church building, and there was a couple of kids that were there because there was a volleyball thing going on, and one of their parents was trying to set up for a volleyball competition or whatever. And so they were just there trying to keep themselves busy, and they turn around and they come walking to see who's coming in. They're like, "Oh, dude." And they say, "Ryder's here," who's my son, right? You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's sweet to hear," right? And then I come around the corner, right? And they're like, "Oh, and Brother Ellis, this is awesome." You know what I'm saying? And I literally looked at the kid. I pointed straight at him. Let's say his name is Steven. All right. I was like, "Steven, I'm giving you $50. I'm giving you freaking $50, dude, for just making me feel like $1 million. You get 50 of them, right?" And so it was really funny as I saw him on Sunday. But guess what? I only brought 20. And I said, "Dude, so I still owe you $30, right?" So that week when I see him, I give him the other 20. So he gets stoked and gets paid again.
Oh, now he's
and
excited.
then I give him another 10. So now he gets paid thrice. You know what I'm saying? Instead of once.
Three-dimensional thinking.
Dude, I'm telling you.
That is some manipulative thinking.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
get all
okay.
Freaking, make all of the kids at church love you and think you're awesome.
Love you, yeah.
So it's like, dude, now I'm protected. You know what I'm saying? It's like, anybody wants to complain, it's like, I'm going to stop paying your son. No, it's that's totally funny. So anyway, we got one last super chat right here coming from Danny Gray. Says, "Address has been sent and copied to Jonah's Discord as backup." Oh,
already got it.
That's
down.
Great. Good job. Thank you very much, Danny Gray. Also, one last plug for the Ward Radio Discord here. If you guys go to wardradio.com, again, this is the last thing I'll say before we go. If you go to wardradio.com, all right, and you look at the very top, in the social bar, you will see all of the different socials there. We got YouTube, Twitter, X, TikTok, Spotify. And that last little paddle that you see right there is the paddle for Discord. And let me tell you, Discord is a lot of fun. If you guys check it out and hang out with us. You're going to have a blast. There's about almost 700 people in there right now. And we do a good job of booting out all the ex-Mormon and anti-Mormons who pride themselves on posting inappropriate photography for the Ward Radio Wigwam.
Classy people.
And
those
yeah,
antis.
super classy people. The same ones that are recording in the temple and then making live streams about it.
Yeah,
and then
classy
calling themselves Avengers.
Brave
Yes,
men.
super stunning and brave. So anyway, yeah, it's awesome. So make sure you guys hang out with us there. It's a fun place for everybody, and there's a little bit of something for everybody. We got some great mods, we got a great crew, and so on and so forth. Other than that, it has been real and it has been fun. And our bodyguard wants to say something, Ed, before we go.
Sorry, Cardin, messing you up. Since we've been talking about temples, everybody, I don't want to sound like the old preachy guy, but if you go to the temple, just do initiatories and slow down a little bit, ask for some time in between them, think about them. You will quickly find that the initiatories might be the most important part of the temple ceremony process.
And Jennifer, yes, she says, just got on. Are there any widows' mites left? Yes, if you want one, you got to super chat us before we go. And we leave now. Bye. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I have one more thing to say.
One last thing. You got until Ed ends. Jenny, yes.
Jenny, you're fine for at least until a little bit longer. So seriously, you have no idea how important it is to symbolically be covered in the atonement of the Messiah. You have no idea. And when you wake up every morning or get out of your shower and you put the atonement of Jesus Christ on you every day, it changes everything. You won't ever feel like you want to dress like a slut at the gym. You will want to be covered by the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Hey, dude, I like my tank.
That's how beautiful it is. And number two, I think Riley Whitbeck might have caught a bad cold in Utah. I know it's very, very cold. I don't exactly know how sick she is, but please, everybody, pray for Riley Whitbeck.
Oh, that's all right. Here. Sorry, I was typing when we said that. Got a couple of questions here. Says, how much do we have to super chat in order to get a Widow's Mite? It's actually a Widow's Mite-sized coin. The Widow's Mites actually went to the first two people that were gave us $50 super chat or more. But if you want to get one of the Roman Mite-sized bronze coins, just give us $20. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to put the outro music in the. I'm going to put the intro music into our outro so it stays on for another 2 minutes. And if you send us $20 super chat or more, I'll make sure I put you on the list to get a Roman Widow's Mite-sized coin, all right, that we got a lot of from an antiquities dealer, just for you guys. But you have to follow it up with your address that we can send it to and your username on YouTube, and you got to verify somehow that we know it's you. Just give us some kind of info so we actually know it's you and not somebody trying to steal it from you. At wardradio.com, make sure that you communicate with us there so we know where to send it, and then I'm actually going to take these to the post office tomorrow and get them sent out. So anyway, as we said before, guys, it has been real and it has been fun, and it has been real fun. For this and more, please check us out at wardradio.com.
Yeah. Whoop. I ain't tryna bring you down, but for real, you might as well give up now. Think you got a chance, but I don't see how. Got a real tight grip when I hold that crown. My life been good and bad and all around. The more things I lost, the more I found. One thing I taught myself to do, no matter the problem, refuse to lose. So, how you want it, man? You can choose. If you can't take the heat, don't light the fuse. See, I walk in slow and ignite the room. Like fire, everything I touch, I consume. I'm getting up while y'all just snooze. While you make breakfast, man, I'm on the move. I'm the first one in and the last one out. Whoever owns the place gotta drag me out. In me I trust, yeah, I smell like success, this Elon Musk, huh? Everybody wanna be like us, we don't stop cause the top just ain't enough, huh? I ain't never gay, no, I ain't scared, man, you know black men don't blush, huh? Came here ready to fight on this night, you better just run for your life. You better run for your life. You not prepared for the night. You better run for your life. Won't you come and see what it's like? Living by the rules that you write. You ain't know those lavish delights. Now you had no back in sight. All the little lies you recite just makes all the savage unite. Usually I'm very polite, but I'ma get savage tonight. Even when a dog being nice, every single dog gonna bite. You might think I'm wrong, but I'm right. Just let it get a strong appetite. I'ma let it breathe just a little. Give it to you strong, heavy metal. I don't make a sound when I strike. You better just run for your life. Run for your life. Run for your life. Run for your life. Run for your life.